Chargers, with the Chargers winning the toss and batting first. Here is the first rock. Leaving a good pace ball outside off stump. Welcome back, Matthew.
Great to be with you, Redders. Warm conditions out in the middle and fairly warm up here too, it might be said, in the commentary position in the Molly Dive stand at this picturesque North Sydney Oval for finals day. Nothing better than finals day, the Plan B Regional Bash, and a great contest ready to get underway.
Ben Parsons with the new rock from the Southern or Charlie McCartney stand in. It's none for none. That should be a wide, and he saved 3 wides there, 4 wides actually, by getting his hands to it. So that's a wide. Scoring's underway. Your batsman at the moment, Shannon Connor from GDSC Easts, and at the other end, at the non-strikers end, is Brodie Bartlett. Matt Corbett is the keeper from the Cavaliers Club in orange. And the little man, Joey Coughlin's right. In fact, Connor Slater is next to him in the slip. And going to be a cracking game. Very, very warm outside. Let me tell you, it doesn't get much warmer than this in Sydney. Oh, that's 4, whatever it is. I reckon that might be an underneath edge, Matt. Just waiting for the umpire ranger. And that it is. It's an underneath edge. So scoring's on the way off the bat. Shannon Connor, let's have a look at the time-lapse replay here. I reckon he's played a pull shot at that. Yeah, underneath edge. Gee, that almost prepared for 5 penalties as well.
I was thinking the penalty runs.
It's almost penalty runs. Holy cow. It's none for 5.
We haven't seen that on finals day yet.
So it's the none for 6. I don't know why that's none for 6. I think that should be. There's 4 and a 1. There wasn't a wide second ball, was there? No, it wasn't. I think that score should be none for 5, everyone. I think it's been corrected now. Parsons bowling to Connor. It might be Bartlett, sorry, is it? Too quick for him there. No, it is Connor on strike. They've actually got the wrong man on strike here on the screen, according to our numbers. So,
I think they're just making some adjustments to the electronic scoring.
We know that it's none for 5. That was sharp from Parsons. That ball's getting good carry. Corbett's taken that at waist height. Field for the Wranglers. They've got a deep square, short fine leg, mid-wicket on the squeeze, mid-on. Then mid-off, cover, point, slip, and a third man. Parsons again. Driving hard. Can't get it past mid-wicket, no run. Supposed to be inside. I hope that air conditioning stays turned on. Goodness me. Although you come from a part of the world where this is nothing. So. Having been at a cricket carnival in Dubbo in 43, I can tell you. Although it's very sultry up there as well. Lady Cutler's not much. Didn't get much respite from the sun down there. Squares him up. Defends back down the pitch. No run. Score's now correct on your screen. It is none for 5. So did you ever play grade cricket in your time in some age group here?
Not on this ground.
Ron Andrews out the back?
Out the back,
yep.
Yeah. Career best figures out the back, actually. One of my favourite cricket grounds. We used to train there. Used to catch the bus and the train from Turramurra down to North Sydney, walk up Miller Street.
Parsons getting in towards middle and leg. That's a good start. The Wranglers will be pleased with that. None for 5 after 1. It's the second semi-final of the Plan B Regional Bash. North Sydney Oval. Matt Allison, David Redden here with you. Interact Sport providing wonderful pictures. We thank them very much for their terrific support of today. This amazing place, Matt, and it is an amazing place.
Big Ed Morris. Looks like he's going to start things up from the famous victory end.
This bloke has worked away at his craft for years and years, and you know what he is? He's reliable. I watched him bowl for Western Zone on the direct TC live streaming, and like the keeper will stand back here, but when he bowls his slower cutters, he's actually very difficult to get away. And he has made himself into a very, very good pick. He gets runs late, but he's just reliable and dependable, the big fella, and has been for a long time. But he's actually, cricketers sometimes plateau. This bloke's just got better as he's got older, in my mind. And if you look at the figures, he just does well everywhere he goes, normally.
He's been around a little bit.
He has, absolutely he has. Brodie Bartlett on strike to Ed Morris, left arm over. Late cut, straight to first slip, no run. Connor Slater there at first slip. He'll bowl his left arm orthos when the power play's done, Matthew.
Yeah,
I'm
pace
looking
off.
forward to seeing. Sorry, I'm looking forward to seeing his Parsons as well. I must admit. Go on.
Pace off has been invaluable at different stages throughout yesterday and again today. Just working out when to bowl the spinners and get them into the game.
Well, Newcastle bowled him inside the power play.
They did.
In fact, there were 2 overs inside the power play at least. Robertson and Bills. Defensive, Morris right on target. No run.
Good start here from Morris. Hitting a good line and length. There's a pretty tight pool the Wranglers were in.
There's an interesting story about that pool. I'll talk to you in a minute. Going for a quick single, he'll get there easily, fielded by Mac Webster. Well, there was a double header set up with the 4 teams in this pool: the Arana Outlaws, the Central West Wranglers, and then the 2 teams from the Illawarra South Coast, the Illawarra South Coast. And I've got to be very careful how I manage this.
Yeah.
But there were 2 forfeits on the Sunday in Bathurst, so the Wranglers and the Outlaws, the Wranglers got through because of 1 game of cricket, and that was against the Outlaws, and that's it. I'll leave it at that. But that's how they ended up with their pool, and then Coffs won comfortably. They won 3. Newcastle in a tough pool because, remember, in Newcastle's pool, there's the Lake Maker who've been phenomenal in this competition.
Yeah, they have.
Central Coast who've got some terrific cricketers and within a jiffy of winning the state country champs, and Hunter. And Newcastle beat all of them this year. So there's some terrific talent running around, isn't there? It's great to watch.
Oh, it's fantastic to be here.
Full from Morris. Got away with a half volley there. Well fielded by Angus Parsons at mid-off. Field for Morris is, I believe, identical to last one. I do think that third man is way too square. He's at least 20 yards away. See how he's almost a deep backward point there, Matt? At this ground, if there's any nick without a slip, it's Gornsky. So I'd have him 20 yards finer. At least 20 yards. Morris full, accurate. That's a very good over. After 2 overs, it's none for 6.
Exemplary start from Ed Morris. Be very, very pleased on this ground to just go for 1.
Absolutely. But this ground, because it's not a perfect, it's not perfectly symmetrical, you've got to know where your deep pockets are and where you've got to defend. And particularly with the wicket being the second in from the eastern side of the ground. These boundaries to as you're looking at it now, the right-hand side of the screen are not big at all. I reckon I can hit 6s and I'm a croc. So, good start from Big Ed Morris there. And he's coming down a third man in front of us in what I think is the correct position. See how much finer he is down here?
Yeah, he is.
He's at least 30 metres finer than from the other over. Parsons again. That might be 4 and is. No need chasing that. Just gets that past short fine leg. 4 runs. Love little nudge, traditional leg lengths there from Bartlett. None for 10.
Always enjoy seeing batters play the traditional cricket shots. Just a very risk-free tuck around the corner for 4.
There is a school of thought that keeping a balance and having traditional shots could work, especially in the first 10 overs. Looking for a single, can't get it. Mid-wicket on his motor. Stops that from a single. None for 10. None for 10 is the actual score. Coming up on your screen now.
And of course the winner of this game, Dave, goes through to the final later this evening.
Where it'll be hopefully a hell of a lot cooler than it is now, although I do know that the forecast for tonight is still very warm. So short, wide call that went over his hip. So wide call by umpire Ranger. None for 11. Just looking at that on replay, seeing how far outside leg stump it was. That's a bit the delayed replay there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, last night it was still 36 degrees when the women's final got underway at 6:15 p.m. So the temperature did drop significantly.
Parsons from the southern end. Going the hoy there towards square leg. Couldn't get it, Bartlett. Another dot ball.
Bartlett eyeing off that shorter boundary.
Which Newcastle and a couple of the border bullets batsmen certainly collected on. Some big sixes hit this morning, I'll tell you. In the early set.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, game one saw the ball go over the fence multiple occasions. Some great clean striking.
I think this is a new ball wicket to bat on, which is why I think that the Coffs will be a little bit disappointed. They're halfway through the third over and they're only 11. Bartlett on strike to Parsons. Drops that one at his feet. That will be an easy single at this level. I'll field it, but that's a run. 12 for none. Bartlett 6, Connors 4.
And a bat first wicket, Redders.
100%.
As the day goes on, you just know you're probably going to get a few that stay a bit lower.
Yes, I would think that front foot dominant players might prevail later on, because I do think that the ball will start to keep stump high and lower, and you're going to. I think spinners will be and dibbly dobblers will be very hard to get away. Oh, shot! That's what they've got to do. You've got to take advantage of that new rock. 4 runs, Connor. Lovely whack down the ground. None for 16.
He's played that beautifully, hasn't he?
Got the length he wanted. The key to that was the length. A couple of bounces over the rope. Cheerio to the curating team here. Sean Eaton, David Somerville, Lockie Ranger. They've done a great job. This ground looks terrific. Had some surfacing to do, and it's worked quite well. It was a little bit sandy a few weeks ago, but it's come out well. He's asking for LBW there, so it's clearly hit the pad, and that's over. So still, after 3 overs, the Coffs Coast Chargers are none for 16. Matthew Ellison, David Redden here with you. North Sydney Oval. It's the Plan B Regional Bash semi-final number 2, with the winner to play the Newcastle Blasters tonight, after the Blasters beat the Bullets by around about 30 runs after a rather large last over that went 666.6.
Very exciting finish. Just a little bit too little too late, as we see the replay of the LBW.
Right. Exactly right.
Appeal that missing.
If you're listening, Dan Saunders, Icehouse in the background. Great southern land. Ed Morris again from the northern end. Driving straight to the fieldsman. Wasn't a bad shot. Field in the right spot. Morris is erring, but if he's erring, he's being full here.
Yeah. 6 dot balls out of his first 7 deliveries.
And our coach at Newcastle often says you don't, the 25 or 30 dot balls is the max that you want in 20 overs. That's the maximum you can afford. 7 dot balls and 8 now for Morris. Immaculate line and length.
Yes, what you're saying about his application over a number of years. I think I first played against him, probably 10 years ago now.
Yep.
And he was a young and fairly raw. He's certainly matured.
That action is sustainable. He can bowl that all day. He's not taking it. He's not quick. He's not as quick as he was, sharper than that.
Yeah.
But that action is, if you look at its balance, it's sustainable. Doesn't put a lot of pressure on his body. He can do it ball after ball after ball. He's not going to spray him. And as I said, with an older ball, he comes in on bowls. He can go left arm around. They'll get to the right-handers and bowl cutters, and they're actually quite tip. Pat McGann from Lake Mac does the same thing. He's a bit sharper than Ed, but they target the stumps. Again, lots and lots of dots here. It is a concern for the Chargers. I'm a little surprised Richie Gallatin didn't open the skipper. He absolutely whacks him. A little bit of trivia about Gallatin. He was a golf pro.
Really?
At one stage had a +5 handicap. And that's an interesting handicap when you're going around a course like Monville, which is 67 and hard, but that's where he was.
Wow.
+5. Bartlett on strike to Morris. Full again. Got to go. Got there comfortably in the end. And again, they're happy to give those singles away, because when you've got fieldsmen on the ring, that they're not worried about singles, not at this stage. And what the coaches will be after here is no boundary balls at the end. As you well know yourself from coaching young people, is you always say ball was 1 and 6 of your best balls. You don't want to give away a boundary. Single's fine, which is why a lot of the Wranglers fieldsmen are on the ring, right on the ring, and hardly walking in. Going across the line. Umpire Laliva, unmoved. After 4 overs, the Chargers are none for 17. Morrish has the outstanding figures of 2 overs for 2, Matt Ellis.
2 overs for 2, 10 out of 12 dot balls. As a captain, what more could you ask for?
And here we go. This is what Matt Ellis was talking about 10 minutes ago. Here come the spinners inside the power play. Connor Slattery, Western Zone player, good cricketer with bat and ball. And he's going to be bowling with right-handers hitting to the short boundary, so expect some fireworks. I would have thought that the Chargers want to try and get to 40 after the power play, the where they're at, even 45. So see if they go after Slattery straight away. He'll go with a long on. No, he won't. He'll go with a deep cow and a deep cover. And with 2 backward points, you could suspect he was going to bowl outside off stump, Matt. He really can't bowl his pads. So Slattery bowling to Bartlett. Speared that one in. That might be a leg by. Umpire's got a soft signal, so here comes a leg by. Leg by, none for 18. It's not commonplace around the state, but at country panel levels, they'll always put their hand out to the side if there's going to be a leg by or a by, so that the scorers know.
I noticed that at the WNCL, actually. They were doing the soft signal at that level.
When you score, that makes an enormous difference.
Oh,
because
massive.
you know even before you're putting in the book that you've got leg bys. So we always go, so here comes a leg by, here comes a by. So Slattery bowling to the left-hander now with a deep square and a deep line. Still think that mid-wicket could be a bit small on the squeeze at the end of the square, but going away from that, Slattery bowling to Connor. Oh, short, but he only gets it to the sweeper at deep square. Lachlan Skelly, while he's later on as well, I imagine. None for 19 now. He got away with one there.
He did get away with that one.
Just curious to see if Bartlett's going to target him here and take him downtown, maybe. Straight. And that's in the air, and that's Gornsky's. That's hit the sights. That's hit the television screen on the fly. And in fact, you can see the square on the screen where that ball's hit. So he's hit the screen and it's pixelated a bit. That's an enormous hit from Bartlett. That's just gone a long way. And that screen may have to be repaired, ladies and gentlemen.
That is right in the wheelhouse.
Almost has to do this, I think. They're a little bit behind the 8 ball, the Chargers, although they've got 10 in the shed. Short, going the dab between the 2 backward points. Morrish lumbers after it and gets it to his right. Yes, there'll be a repair bill there for North Sydney Council. By the look at that, you can actually, we're looking at the screen at the moment, and there's this red square where Bartlett's hit it on the fly. Full, driving. Take the single, I'd imagine, because he's back on the ring. None for 26 now in the 5th. Wranglers still going okay. If they'll take a risk with the left-hander facing the left-arm spinner. No one on the fence on the offside, so he's got to bowl his pads. Does. Gets it into the pads. He actually had to bowl that ball where his field he had. After 5 overs, it's none for 25 here at North Sydney Oval. Matt Ellis and David Redden here with you. First commentary stint, and this the second semi of the Plan B regional bash between the Coffs Coast Chargers, who are batting, and the Central West Wranglers. So the Coffs Coast Chargers, everybody, go from Coffs all the way up to Harwood, which is on the river. It's sugarcane country past Grafton. And the Central West Wranglers players are all drawn. There's 2 players are playing in Sydney now, but both Parsons are there, and they're drawn from Bathurst and Orange. Rugby Union representative, Orange City, Cavaliers, St Pat's Old Boys. And Ed Morrish, of course, from Orange City. Now, change of bowling here. Looks like Mac Webster. Is that number 5 there?
It looks like
Matt,
number 5,
please?
yeah. Yep.
There it is. So Mac Webster from Cavs coming in. Hello to everybody listening up in Orange and up at home. Cavaliers and Sims and City, very famous clubs in the Orange community. Cavaliers were, for 15 years, the dominant side in a pretty decent, strong comp. Gee, that's ridiculous, and they still do. I don't know how to win. Webster from the northern end. Short, not bouncing much. Quick, cheeky single, but because he got it to his left, he had to turn around his body. So.
Just good awareness there from the batters.
Yep. Question without notice. Does Hanscom bat in the top 6 in the Ashes?
That's a very good question. Very good. He's done a very good job over there in India.
Outstanding.
And do you go horses for courses, or do you go on current form? That's
magnificent. Gee, that's a good shot. Drop kicks it over mid-wicket. Getting the length and line wrong there, Matt. That's on his pads. And Connor, most left-handers love those.
Yeah.
Watching on time-lapse now. Just have a look, or when the replay comes up, have a look at the line of this ball. It's just a bit too much on leg stump. Connor's whacked it. One bounce over the fence. 31 now. The Chargers, last couple of balls of the power play. Goes another heave-ho, but it just dialed the length back a bit at that top of off stump, and he misses.
It's going to be an interesting Ashes series. I'm really excited about it already.
Can Australia's bowlers contain England to less than 4 and over? Because no one has. That last Test match in Wellington is one of the best Test matches I've ever seen. That was extraordinary cricket.
That was.
And Fagner stepping up again.
Just bounced them out.
Going the Hoy. Now, has he got enough? Yes, he has. So gets a 3/4 underneath edge to ball. Again, wrong line, Webster. 4 runs to fine leg, which is very short down there.
Yeah, value for your shots here at North Sydney Oval.
Watching this one. Yeah. Just swinging away, but the length was the key there, everyone. Last ball left in the power play. Waiting for the scores to come up. I think it's something like 39. We'll wait and confirm that in a minute with you. Going again, and 4 more. So that is the over that the Chargers needed. They've taken advantage of that over. 12 off at 13, actually, with 3 boundaries. Oh, it's 1 to go. Okay, so that score must be right. It's now 39, Matt.
39. And this is the last ball of the power play coming up?
It is. They're just a touch behind with the scoring, so I'm assuming that it is 39. Connor again. Going hard, and he took the pace off that one. That was his off-cutter.
Well bowled.
Yep. So we reckon after the power play, the score is none for 39. Just waiting for the scoring to come up for you.
So just a tick over 6 and over. I guess that's about right, do you think? Or they're probably a little bit under where they'd like to be?
With these conditions, that's unders. I think you need to be targeting 50 to 60, to be honest with you, after 6, honestly. That's the way that...
That's the way
they target us.
Yeah.
No, I'm not... Not as an analogy to the first, but you always need to take advantage of that power play. And I think that they're about 10 runs behind, at least.
You probably put that down to those
Morrish.
tidy overs from Morrish.
100%.
Just dealing in dot balls, wasn't he?
Correct. We're actually seeing a different screen than what's on that big screen up there. I suspect this is Angus Parsons, but I haven't seen his number yet. 7? It is. So Angus Parsons, who's up from the Central West, but now plays his cricket for Mossman down here in Sydney. Around the corner from us, actually, at Allan Border Oval.
Oh, yes.
Another postage stamp around. Parsons bowling to Bartlett. Late cut. He'll be doing well to stop that. Got to dive now. He has. Great fielding from Webster. Saves 2. Saves 2. Now we get it in.
How long's he been up at Mossman, Dave? Do you know?
It's in the first or second season.
Yeah.
I saw him play Colts in Bathurst when the New South Wales Country Colts was hosted Bathurst 15 months ago.
Yep.
And bowled very well, very sharp. ACT won that carnival. Zach Keogh played in the carnival. He's now playing high-level cricket. But Parsons were there. He was sharp. So was Cooper Bryant, actually. That's 4. He's got no chance of defending that. Just seeing if that's that. No, it's not. It's 4 leg buys. Squeezing off the pad there. In the line, a little bit errant. Good start to this over. Remember, the field can go back now, so we've got a fine third man, a sweeper at cover, backward point, cover, mid-off. Interestingly, they're not going with the cover in the mid-wicket on the squeeze, which other teams will go, coming on the squeeze here. They've left their cover in mid-wicket in normal, which means they pretty much can't save a single. Going, that's gone! That is out of here. And that's out of the ground. That's into North Sydney. Absolutely massive from Bartlett. And that was actually a pretty good cricket shot, Matt Ellis.
That was a very good cricket shot.
It was an authentic cricket shot. I'm not saying he didn't hoe that. There'll be a delay here, I'm telling you.
Who's got the suitcase with the spare cricket ball?
So Uncle Bruce would I imagine. Uncle Bruce or Uncle Neil, one of the two.
That's out of the ground.
I went out the ground. Yeah. It's into Ernest Street or McLaren Street. We stayed in McLaren Street last night near that construction site. That's just gone a long way. The gates aren't open down there either, so. And the umpires are going straight away. Luke Olsen, great call. The umpires are going to their their backup suitcase here. And that is one of the issues here, that when blokes tag on sixes, it goes a long, long way. Oh, they've got it. Have they plucked it out? Have they? Yes, it must have been. You know what? That's happened. That's been thrown back in from outside. That's what's happened. There's been a passer-by because that ball went into Kirribilli. So it's come back. Massive sixer bowler, and they are starting to put the foot down. It's now 51 for none. 6.5 overs gone, and Parsons has gone for 8 of his first 3 rocks. And included in that, ladies and gents, of course, is a 4-leg buys. So this is their press over. Long on and deep square and fine leg on the leg side fence. Again, they've got a mid-wicket and a cover on the ring, and most sides these days are pushing it on the square and the squeeze in those two positions to make singles a bit harder to achieve. Parsons again. Yorker. Dug out by Bartlett. Straight to that man at mid-wicket. No run.
Good follow-up there.
Feels like Andrew Voss up here. The seats get a bit hard. Standing and talking sport. It's great.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah. David Redden and Matthew Ellis here with you. Plan B Regional Bash semi-final 2. The Coffs Coast Chargers are 51 into the 7th over, playing against the Central West Wranglers. Hello to everybody out in the bush. Hope you're enjoying. Another good ball from Parsons. He's come back hard after the 6. I'm sure the people on the North Coast are enjoying every minute of this, from Coffs all the way up to Harwood. I hope you're all well up there on the coast. I hope you're not going to have too much rain and there's not too many floods this year after a terrible last 18 months. And our friends in the Central West, it's a big cheerio, particularly those people around Hill End with some terrible bushfires taking place at the moment. We must make note of that. Just hope everybody's safe. That part of the world can get very hot and very dry. So you just take care, get yourself right, and enjoy the cricket. Going again, straight, no one at long off. Is it 6? It's not. Didn't quite get it. That's a big over, Matt. That is massive. That's 55 now. That is 12 off Parsons, 16 off the over with the 4-leg buys, and there's their push.
And that's the push they needed, as you spoke about, probably a little bit behind where they wanted to be after the first 6. They've pushed the button now. And the Wranglers will need to...
Bartlett's done a lot of the damage there.
Yeah.
So I think this is Lachlan Skelly. Plays up there in orange. One of my old clubs, Orange City.
Yeah, it is Skelly.
Pretty confident. And he's a spinner that doesn't just bowl darts. He gets something on him.
Okay.
He gets a bit of work on the ball. So good player, this fella. And he's got a very good record up there in the Orange District. I might add, there's some superb cricket grounds in that part of the world. Rywena Oval, Wade Park.
Oh, did you see the interesting footage out of Rywena Oval where a helicopter landed on the field last weekend for a second-grade game?
Well, there must have been a serious injury.
No. There was some sort of wedding or some sort of... I'll have to send it on to you. It's quite remarkable. Okay. Lachlan Harper, who local journalist out there, published it on Twitter.
I was going to say there's no one at mid-on or long-on. There surely has to be to a right arm off your bonnet or left-hander. So, Matt, do you want to run through the outfielders for us, please, where he's got them on the fence?
Yeah, so we've got protection, deep square leg, cow corner, long on, long off, and a sweeper at deep point.
That'll be a first ball wide, I'd imagine. Yep.
Just in front of point, actually.
Ball slipping out of the hands from Skelly. Wide first ball. Shannon will be trying to target that leg side fence for him. Fully should go. That might be a wicket. It will be. He won't drop that. So again today, a full toss gets a wicket. Skelly strikes. the first week today, Shannon gone, didn't go anything near middling that fully, and he's gone, and it's 1 for 55.
How many times have we seen that today, Dale? I think we've only seen it.
Matt Condon,
Yeah,
who was clearly bought his best bat, gets a knee-high volley from Nick Foster and squeezes it to long on, and after the same thing happens here.
I think yesterday too in the women's finals we saw some similar situations where the full toss just wasn't dealt with. As a batter, your eyes are lighting up, you're ready to just land it over the rope. But brings another wicket.
Does. Skelly strikes. Out comes Trent Derick. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From the Sawtail Cricket Club, just south of Coffs Harbour. Big place, Coffs Harbour. Got some very good cricket grounds, actually. Very good. And, of course, their international sports stadium is absolutely magnificent place.
The Big Bash returning there again. Stephen Smith putting on a bit of a clinic for everyone, as he did in a number of games in the Big Bash. Wasn't it great to see the big names back in the Big Bash?
We must pay respects to our Australian captain staying at home with his mother gravely ill. Steve Smith captaining Australia in the final test in India. But to Pat Cummins and his family, I'm sure all of us want to wish him the very best with his mother very, very unwell. And he's made the only decision he could make. Sacrificing captaining Australia is a pretty big deal, and I don't think anybody has because Pat Cummins is universally popular, of course, but it's great to see Stephen Smith captaining Australia again. Scully bowling to the right-handed Derick. He's got a deep forward square, deep cow long on, so he wants him to hit it straight, not behind square. I wonder if that's a drop chance, and if it's going to go for 4 here. No, it may not. I'm just waiting to see. He's got his hand out, so these might be buys, Matthew. And so 2 buys. How are you, Mr. Olsen? You well? Co-commentators loitering with intent.
They are.
They can't wait to get back out there. That ball dropped quickly. Scully getting a lot on the ball. Single. Derick's off the mark. Bartlett's 27. It's 1 for 57. Not sure if that score's right. That's only got a couple of balls. I think there's 2 buys on that. We'll just wait for that to come up. I reckon it's about 59 now. Throwing it up. Yeah, Bartlett was going to whack that across the line, but he took put a lot on it, and it dropped quickly. So
that looked tantalising, didn't it? But it was actually an astute decision from the batter not to get lured in there.
Dropping quickly because he's getting a lot of work on it. There's a lot of overspin on the ball. Full this time, a little bit quicker. Bartlett good enough to drive him down to Parsons on the fence just for the single. Everybody's trying to fight shade here today at North Sydney. It is a warm one, everyone. Doesn't get much warmer than this in Sydney in March, I'll tell you. Short, pulling, straight to the man at mid-wicket, first bounce. That was a smart move not to charge that ball, just stay back. And that's over. So Skelly will be very happy with that. Wicket in his first. We'll get you a score update just in a minute. We think it could be 1 for 61. Bartlett 25, Derick 2.
Yeah, great to see some fans in here today. We had some school children in here earlier this morning watching some of the action.
Right in front of the scorers, and you couldn't hear a thing. We missed a no-e out there because we couldn't hear the umpire. That's our fault, but that's all right. Slattery again, is it, in 14? Yep. Slattery for his second. So the spinners are now on. Let's see if they can. They've already got a wicket. Let's see if they can start to take control of this game with pace off. 3-man leg side fence, long on, cow, and deep forward square. Man at 45 around the corner and a mid-wicket. Defending. Corbin on his motor quickly. Prevents a single. And on the offside, our traditional long off sweeper at a very square cover. So there's a cover and a backward point as well. Slattery with a reasonably standard field. Short. Trying to get that fine. Parsons does well to get that to 1.
Yeah, good piece of fielding there.
At this ground, your lateral speed is very important, which is something I'm sure your coach is the ability, when you're fielding, is the ability to push sideways quickly. That's what people ask me how I would have gone to T20. I said I'd get caught out in the field. Too slow. Has he got all of it? Yep. Drop kicks that one. I reckon he's only three-quarter got that too, Matt. But another 6. Bartlett doing the job for his team. He's 34 off 26 rocks. In the score check, he's 1 for 68 in the 9th.
Yeah, for a moment I thought it wasn't going to carry.
So did I.
Fielder on the rope in the game there.
Very powerful straight. And this is the sort of ground where you've only got to get it three-quarters and it's still going to go for maximum. Full inside edge for that one. Got that on the inside edge of the bat. Just gets a single. And as they do, now that ball's getting older, Matt, they'll throw the ball into the ground to scuff it up and make it softer, make it harder to hit.
It's really funny having grown up being told to keep the ball up all the time. It's a more modern technique.
Sweeping, lost his balance. Still got enough to get it to the man at forward square leg for a single. Yes, the theory is now scuff the ball up and make it soft and make it hard to hit. That's what they do. These white kookaburra balls are good balls, but that's the theory. Is you throw the ball into the ground and get as much scuff work on it as possible. Little dab there from Bartlett to the gap at point, just a single. And Slattery not overly pleased there with going for 6 in that over. So we'll get the score to come up here. We think it is 1 for 71. Just the scoring's coming up a little bit slowly on our board. That's 9 overs gone. One more from us in our set, Mr. Ellis, and we'll hand over.
I think Andrew Menzel.
Mr. Olsen's
lurking.
The deadly combination of Menzel and Olsen. There's two scallywags if ever I've seen them. Geez, Skelly's getting the ball in the right areas. Defended by Bartlett.
Yeah.
And Bartlett, who's showing every indication of hitting straight well, has got a deep mid-wicket to put up with, and a long off and a long on. And let me tell you, the way he's hitting them, they won't stop him if he gets onto it. Skelly again. Coming and gone. Stumped. Brilliant from Skelly. He's making a difference already. Held that one back, didn't he, Matt? It was a lot slower. And Bartlett was through his shot very, very early. We're going to watch this on time-lapse now. Sure that Skelly's thrown this up. He has, and it turned. So that one's turned and gripped. And they're going to have a drink. So we'll take this opportunity to hand over in commentary with the score at 2 for 71. Matt and I will catch up with you later on this afternoon. Handing over to Luke and Menners now.
Thank you, Matt Ellis and Dave Redden. They've got the call off to a great start. I'm Andrew Menson. I'm joined by Luke Olsen. I would say honours even in this contest.
Yeah, definitely even. Slow start from the Coffs boys, but obviously a few big bombs has definitely moved the scoring on, but some good bowling there from Lockie Skelly. Obviously putting the screws on a little bit, a couple of wickets always helps. But yeah, definitely what the Central West Wranglers needed in the end was a couple of wickets just to slow it up a little bit. 2 new bats at the crease.
So 2 for 71 here after 9.2 overs. Just a quick drinks break. It's very hot, mid-30s. The Central Coast, the Coffs Coast Chargers batting first here. Going along at 7.6 runs per over. And Luke, we were discussing this morning in the first semi-final that around that 160 was par.
Yep.
Having seen that game, are you still around that mark?
I think so. No, I think so. I think that is a very, very competitive score. Anything over 150 I think is very, very competitive. They're on track. Touch under 8 and over current run rate. So, they'll want to keep continuing this through these middle overs.
Even though it's T20 cricket, it's still really vital to put partnerships together.
Definitely.
And if you lose wickets steadily, you can really come to a halt. And, after such a good start, they want these two to steady the ship, get them to that sort of launch pad of around 14, 15 overs, and then let the lower and late order really tee off and start to target some of these short boundaries.
And these two just need to reset, play a few overs out, just rotating the strike, getting some singles, dispatching the bad balls as well. That's really important. If you can get a 4, if you get a boundary each over, and then add in a few singles either side, or
so
they just don't want to lose another wicket.
No. Skelly with the first ball after the drinks break beats the bat. Galachan and Derek. Skelly has both wickets so far. Great figures of 2 for 4. The destroyer tosses up, and that's steered to backward point for a single. Galachan is off the mark.
A journeyman Lockie Skelly played some cricket in Wagga, the Lake Albert Club, premiership player at Lake Albert Club, and
who's that? Sorry,
Lockie Skelly bowling now. They moved back to Central West.
Just played fine to third, taken one. Derek's coming back. No, just one there.
Lockie's cousin Sam is actually playing in the ACT New South Wales country team. The second 11 game at Cricket Central today, so good cricketing family. End of a good tight over, couple of it.
So that's the end of the first half of the Central Coast Chargers innings. Two for 73 after 10.
Starting to warm up again now. Edging towards mid-30s again, which is very unseasonal for this time of the year in Sydney.
Yesterday was the hottest day in 2 years in Sydney. All right. First ball of the 11th over is wide and chopped at Galachan, and doesn't. It's Derek on strike. Dot ball. Really important 10 overs here for the Central Coast, the Coffs Coast Chargers. I do like the Coffs Coast. It's nice area up there.
Yeah, beautiful area.
Pitched up and just played nicely to mid-off. They've taken one.
Misfield,
good running from Galachan. Cover came round and got a hand to it, which actually slowed it down and conceded an extra run. So the score 2 for 75.
It's definitely a critical aspect of the game, particularly T20, is fielding and cutting off any opportunities for overthrows or misfields. Every run counts.
Webster continues. Driven over the top of cover. Is that in the gap? Bouncing away for 4. What a beautiful shot from Derek. Pitched up and hit through the line.
Picked the gap there beautifully, didn't he?
Is it Dyrick?
It's Dyrick. Yep.
Dyrick.
We'll go Dyrick.
Webster continues. Just heaved away on the onside, not timed. 1 run. 2 for 80 now. Wonderful occasion here at North Sydney Oval. The Plan B Regional Men's Finals Day. Remember, if you're going out having a good time, make a Plan B. Webster. Just played to third and they set off quickly, and a nice single. 2 for 81.
Plenty of Plan B options nowadays. Ride share, taxis, public transport, 2 legs. Plenty of ways to get
designated
home.
driver.
Designated driver. Zero
I
alcohol.
can't imagine though that out in the country they have the renter bikes.
No scooters. No scooters in regional New South Wales, that's
it'll
for
be
sure.
a bit tough, you know. You know, if you got a long way through the bush, grabbing one of those solar-powered bikes.
No.
It's hit over the top to long off, not quite time, and they get one. Well, that's the big thing now in Sydney. They have all these renter bikes.
The scooters, yeah.
You just can't sort of pick one up from wherever you are and leave it where you get off.
Are you allowed to be under the influence driving one of those? I would imagine you'd
Well,
still
there's,
get in
there's
trouble,
real
would you?
bikes though. There's push bikes as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, make the plan B.
Yes, definitely.
Designated driver,
Definitely.
whatever that is.
Don't drink.
Drink responsibly. 2 for 82.
Critical moment in the game, isn't it? They've definitely set themselves up, the Coffs Coast boys, with this innings.
Skelly bowls again, and that's swung away to the fielder in the deep for one. Skelly in again. Oh, that's almost chopped onto the stumps, but Galachan survives. Nice change of pace from the bowler there, and almost got the better of the batter.
He's definitely mixing it up and keeping the batsman guessing.
That's a slower ball and worked square on the onside. Good fielding by Bailey Ferguson. Keeps it to 1, brings Dyrick back on strike.
They seem to have decided that they're just going to get through these couple of overs of Skelly.
Tossed up and almost.
Maybe not.
Almost played that on as well, but did that keep a little low, do you think, Luke?
Keep it a little low. Just pushed it through a little bit quicker as well.
It's a good ball. Skelly in again. That's hit down to long on. They've taken 1.
It's smart batting. No, it's not the time to take risks. There's still 8 and a bit overs to go.
Well, we saw in the first
shed.
semi-final today, just Skelly swept from outside off stump into the deep for a single. Yeah, we saw this morning the Newcastle Blasters get off to a great start and then sort of fall away to Chorizo's hat-trick. But, yeah, so I think, this pitch, it's a good pitch, but it's a little slow. You've still got to pick your ball. You've still got to pick your spot.
Yep. No, definitely there is a requirement to bat smart, pace the innings.
And also, if Skelly's bowling so well, you don't want to give your wicket away.
No, definitely not.
2 for 86. So 4 runs came off that Skelly over.
It'd be interesting to see if they decide to bowl him out. He's bowled 3 now.
Angus Parsons being brought into the attack at the McCartney end. There's the third, a sweeper on the offside, a deep backward square leg, a deep mid wicket, and a long on. All 5 fielders are out. Parsons. And they set off for a quick single. Angus Parsons plays for Mossman Cricket Club. They won their first title in a while recently, maybe last year.
Yep.
I used to play for Mossman when I played grade cricket.
Oh, there you go.
Long time ago. The Whalers. Actually ended my career. Here's Parsons. It's in the air towards it. No, it's not timed. And that's a good catch. Was that Skelly there, I think?
Took a really good catch there.
That was a hard one because it was sort of...
Hung in the air, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hung in the air. And it would have been a bit of spin on it.
Yep.
Top edge, always harder to take. But that was a really good catch. And a crucial breakthrough there. we were talking before about the need to not lose regular wickets, and I think the Coffs Coast Chargers would have been really keen to get through to 15 overs at 2 down. That could give them that launching pad to really have a go at the last 5 wickets,
And also
5 overs.
that score direct, 15 off 16 balls. That's kind of, you've got to start.
You do, yep.
And
You've got a
be
sider.
expecting someone
Yep.
to sort of go on from there. So really good stuff from the Wranglers. Parsons gets the wicket. And it's, the Devils number struck. It's 3 for 87. The unlucky number in Australian cricket claims another wicket. Are you superstitious, Luke?
I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, particularly with cricket, particularly with playing.
What were some of your superstitions?
Right pad on first.
Yep.
I'd always right foot across the rope when I walked
yep,
out.
yep.
Don't move out of your seat if someone's on 13 or 87. Yeah, so I had a few.
Like it.
Had a few.
Yeah, which cricketer is it? Marnus Labuschagne. There is one of the top order batters that has spoken about that. He always likes
Marnus has got a lot of different little.
But is his right foot as well, I
I
think?
think so, yep.
Right, Parsons, first ball of the new player and beats the bat. Good pace. Ben McMahon out in the middle.
Yeah, I
From
think
Harwood Cricket Club.
cricket's the sort of game where you've got so much time to think. You think about, what did I do well that time? What did I not do so well that time? And that's when those little superstition traits can come into a player's game.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, you do something, you go out there and, score a great score or take some wickets and you go, I've got to, eat this breakfast every time.
Exactly. I had Weet-Bix this morning, so I'm going to have them every morning now, and I'll get that result again.
Valleys. A lot of players from Valleys in this Chargers club.
Sawtell, Valleys, Harwood.
Yeah. Parsons.
Good shot.
Oh,
Straight to
driven nicely, but doesn't beat the fielder. And is he grabbing his finger? Is he
Yeah,
broken his finger? Or
we may have a dislocation there.
any doctors on the scene that can run out there and just pop it back?
Don't think so.
Now, who is
No.
that? That is Troy Turner. Ouch. So it's 3 for 88 here.
There you go. We've just had some intel.
I'm going to pass that on because the listeners can't hear
The
Macca's insights.
Harwood Cricket Club ground. The ground is privately owned by the sugar mill, by the sugar company up Harwood, north of Coffs Harbour. Neil McDonald. Clarence River? No. We're just getting some information from the background here.
Love it. Parsons, nice length and push to point. They set off for a quick single. There's a throw at the non-striker's end and a direct hit. But the bat is... Oh, there's a mix-up at the striker's end. Galachan, I think, was looking for 2.
It's all happening on the field, and it's all happening in the background. Neil McDonald, our Rick Finlay of the Plan B world.
Can you ask him where Valleys is for the listeners?
And we need to know where Valleys Cricket.
3 for 90 after 13. Matt Ellis's Wranglers are starting to fight back.
Yeah, Matt will be a bit nervous at the moment.
He's actually watching his own commentary back now in the back.
He's reviewing his performance.
Yes, he's going through the last 10
mic.
overs and just taking notes.
Still need to know where the Valleys Cricket Club is. Neil McDonald. Clarence River. The club is 150 years old.
Wonderful.
You go.
Now, is that
Viewers,
Skelly with the
some-
ball? I can't see his shirt.
Yeah, Skelly's gonna
so he's
bowl
bowl
out.
out. I like this.
Which is
'Cause
good.
I like this because if they get another wicket here, they're taking control of this contest. Quick single, nice running just to the right of mid wicket. does happen to some bowlers in T20 cricket is Skelly. Cut doesn't beat point. The batters start to show them a lot of respect and just work them around. I know, say for example, Rashid Khan's effectiveness in the BBL has come down a little because the teams are like, okay, we're not going to give him 3 or 4 wickets. We're just going to nudge him around, get 25 off his 4 overs and take on the others, which is the ultimate sign of respect.
Oh, of course.
Another good ball from Skelly, beats the bat. Bit of a fine spell. Almost bowled him. Didn't quite turn enough to come back onto the stumps. And you see that ball didn't get up. Just kept a little low. Slower ball. Change of pace and pulled into the mid-wicket region. There's a sweeper there. They've taken 1. 3 for 93 now. So 3 runs off this over so far. The last 3 overs have been really good for the Wranglers. They've slowed the scoring down, and I think this is due to the fact the ball's getting a bit softer. Just guided to third. 1 more to the Coffs Coast Chargers. And Skelly should be very proud of his performance. Great stuff.
Yeah, great spell of bowling there. 2 for 13 off his 4, so he's definitely done his job for the team. He's coming off for a well-earned spell as well, so...
Long day for all these teams, playing 2 games in a lot of in hot conditions.
Yep.
So 3 for 94 after 14. So in the last 3 overs, 4 runs have come off every over. So that's really good stuff from the Wranglers. McMahon waits. Galachan there just played that for a single, brings McMahon onto strike. You can hear the Wranglers from here. They're enthusiastic, they're supporting each other. Short and cut.
Good shot. That's
it's almost a beautiful drive.
That's found the gap, and it's 4.
It's a great shot. He just sort of stood to attention there and
he did
hit it on the up. That's one of the best shots we've seen all day.
Stand and deliver.
I wouldn't say it was a bad ball either.
No, definitely not. In the replay. Yep, just
a bit of wit there, probably the only
Saw
mistake
it.
for the bowler. That's a great shot. Parsons. It's heaved to long on for a single.
That's the 100 up.
Yeah, that is the 100 in the 15th over. Great stuff for the Chargers. Run rate is just under 7 and over. I think the pitch is maybe a little slower than we think up here, Luke.
Yeah, I think it is. Definitely holding up a little bit.
Parsons in again. That's a good ball.
Particularly when that ball softens up as well.
Yeah.
Coming on in the first 3 or 4 overs, but as soon as that ball softens up a little bit, it just does seem to hold up in the wicket. So it comes back to that critical first power play section of your innings, doesn't it? You want to get off to a good start.
Parsons delivers. It's a big hack at that one from Galachan and runs to the batter. Must have been a little bit of wood on that onto the pad. So one to the batter's total. 3 for 101. Last ball of the 15th over coming up. This has been a good one for the Chargers. They needed it.
It has.
They've been restricted by the Wranglers, but they've found a boundary. A few singles. 7 off it already. Can they hit a boundary to make it a big over? A bowled
Bowled
him!
him, great
Straight
wicket.
through. What a ball. Parsons gets McMahon. And the Chargers are 4 for 101.
That's good reward there for Parsons. Yeah, he's bowling to a plan. He knew what he wanted to do. May have moved in a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of movement there, I think.
A little bit of swing into the batter.
Yes, yep,
He's got that action, actually,
he does.
Parsons.
Very
there.
uprighter.
Lukey Olsen, some of your best work there as I
Ty
join
Murphy.
Manners in for the last
Final
final 5 overs.
Thank you. So I'm joined by Neil McDonald. They call him Macca.
Good to be with you.
Took him a long time to come up with that nickname in Cricket New South Wales.
It's one of those Australian vernacular things, isn't
Exactly.
it? I suppose.
4 for 101.
Occasionally I get Neil, but, you know, Neil just doesn't quite fit it, I guess. That's Macca seems to work. Trouble is now we've got about 8 Maccas working for us, so everybody turns around and goes, is it me? Is it me? Not sure.
So I guess if you can pick and choose whether you want to answer.
Am I
whoever-
tuning in or
if it's
am I
good
tuning-
news or bad news?
That's right.
Well, that's another Macca.
You sure you wanted me? I think it's that guy down there.
So 4 for 101. Murphy joins Galachan. Galachan 10 off 14. He's probably the one that needs to take on the bowlers. How have you seen
agreed.
Coffs Coast Chargers innings?
It's been a little up and down. There was a flurry at one stage, but it came back to the field again. Bit of good bowling, bowling partnership. So I'm looking at the 101 and thinking that they're about 40 short at the moment.
A change of bowling at the Fig Tree end. We have
I reckon he'll turn around in
Connor
the second
Slattery.
half a chance. You're on fire as usual.
Connor Slattery. Left arm tweaker.
Yep.
It's a good ball, and there's confusion. They get a run there, but the striker was late to take off. Leg by signalled by the umpire.
Yeah, so at this stage we're 6 wickets in the sheds, 3.5 overs to go. You've got to be looking at something off every ball.
Yeah, and I think you want to we'll just see that lapped beautifully fine. That could be 4, and it is 4. Galachan, nice invention there. Moved across the crease and just worked the ball into the gap. Doesn't always need to be the massive shots. You can be deft, you can be cunning, and we saw it there.
Like it, he's had a good look at the field. See, we've got 5 out, and they're all in front of square. So he's managed to slightly offline there, just down leg, and helped it on its way. Nice shot.
Slattery again. Quicker ball and almost bowls him. I don't know if that was a stumping chance, but just wait for the buys.
Sort of
A
went
moral victory for the bowler.
Absolutely, went through everything. It's nearly at medium pace level, considering some of the balls we've seen bowled
That was
today.
very quick. And again. And that gets past Murphy. This is a good over from Slattery.
Didn't get up really, did it? It's
No, so
like
we were saying
not a
before you
cuttable
came in
size.
that we thought 150, 160 was a good score, but maybe considering this pitch is keeping down, 140,
140 might do it.
closer to par. Slattery tosses up, and that's in the air. Long on's coming in. Will he take the catch? He does! Slattery gets a wicket with the full bunger,
Oh,
and Murphy is out for a duck.
Mac Webster, I think.
Mac Webster took the
fielder.
catch.
It's a good catch there, made good ground to get underneath, and then the rest was just like shelling peas, wasn't it? It's very, very easy once he was under it and made the ground.
Murphy will be disappointed with that. It was there to hit. Just didn't
He sort of
quite
got
time it.
underneath it, didn't he?
That's the 5th wicket to fall for the Chargers. They're 5 for 108.
It's going a little bit like the earlier match, getting a start, and then when it needed to really accelerate, they're losing a couple of wickets at key moments.
So Hayden McMahon heading out to the crease. Was it Ben and Hayden? So Ben's been dismissed already. Hayden heading out there.
Again from the Mighty Harwood Cricket Club. And heard Lukey Olsen waxing lyrical about the 150-year history there, and owned by a sugar mill. and the old 99-year lease on the ground, which is lovely. It's the only ground north of Sydney that's got any sort of, let's say, direct ownership of cricket only.
Right. I think
No other sport
tees
played
would be
there.
pretty good there, wouldn't it? If
You would think
Sugar
so.
Mill.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, the old afternoon tea, the ice buns, and
Yep.
overlooks the water as well, Clarence River.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
5 for 108. 4 overs left. 24 balls. Strap yourselves in because this could be exciting. There's a short boundary on the leg side. Galachan is on strike. He's on 15 off 17. He's got to really take on these Wranglers bowlers now.
Predominantly offside field here, so I'd assume it's off stump or just outside that he'd be targeting.
So Ben Parsons with the ball. He plays for Gordon.
Should be
And that's
two.
played down to third for a single.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw Ben. Well, I think I commentated on some a Gordon game.
Okay,
he was
probably.
playing.
Okay.
A lot of brothers.
Could be
in
right.
these
There's
two
a lot.
teams.
Well, there's a lot from
There's
North Coast
two-
that travel down.
Yeah, there's 2 Parsons, 2
Yeah, there's a couple of
McMahons,
pairs.
2 Bartletts.
Yeah.
Good ball.
Just the single there, squeezed out. It's a really good ball. Yeah, I saw a couple of
And the
pairs
coach
there in
is
the
Tim
team sheet.
McMahon from the Chargers.
One can
Two-
only assume.
Nepotism, live and well. It's 5 for 111. What can the Chargers set the Wranglers? Parsons delivers and wraps him on the
It's gonna
pad.
be close.
There's an appeal, but they were too busy trying to field the ball and just a leg by. Is that a leg by?
Well, indeed, he hasn't called anything yet.
So
it
it
might have been
a
off
bit
the
of wood on that
bat.
one.
Jeez.
One to the batter. I went downstairs and there's a gentleman here assessing the umpires.
Ah, Neil Finlay, I think it is.
Yes,
Shout
it might
out for
be.
Neil, great
Yep.
man of the South Coast. That's what he'd be doing.
Parsons continues. Hit over the top, not in the gap, so they'll just get one. So I guess he'd be just making notes on their performance to give them reviews.
They used to, umpires are a funny lot, and shout out to any umpire that is willing to give their time or indeed get a bit of a cash payment to take the odd bit of advice from players each week. But sometimes they hand out some of the quirkiest awards at umpires
Really?
conventions. It's presentation nights. It's quite funny. They have a good sense of humour.
Parsons in again. It's dug out and played down the ground. I'd like to be at one of those umpires' dinners.
They're a funny lot, and there's some funny awards that come out, and it just might be in the context of the game. So unless you're an umpire, sometimes you don't know what the award is. But sort of some. It's like the duck award when you're batting type
Yep,
stuff.
I like it.
Most ducks in the air.
Ben Parsons with the ball, and that's a good ball. Not much you
Squeeze
can
that
do with
out.
that, but it's steered for 4. That is beautifully guided. That was in a
It's a
tough
really nice
spot,
shot.
and he just found the gap between third and the sweeper, and it ran away on this quick outfield for a much-needed boundary for the Chargers. They were floundering a bit, so 10 runs came off that over.
And again, man, is the last balls for 4. You know, first and last ball, we talk about getting in and out of an over. Now, we'll share with you, just going back onto the brothers and the relations that seem to be there. Maitland, and shout out to anybody in Maitland that's listening in today. Maitland used to run a 10-over comp pretty much before they stopped playing two-day cricket in most grade circles, so it was like mid-visionary. And there was the Lantry 11. In other words, 11 aside, everybody called Lantry. Kid you not. And the Lantries are synonymous around Maitland, and obviously brothers, cousins, whatever. But the
Uncles,
Lantry 11.
the
And we
whole
had New South Wales players come on there. Mark Waugh came up and played sort of a season or two. When I say a season or two, it's over in a day. But it was ahead of its time, and probably. To be fair, probably
T10
something. Well,
T10's
could be
taken
the
off.
100. It could be
Well, there's a
T20.
big T10 competition in I think UAE that they play every year.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, oh, bowled him! What a delivery! Wow, Morrish from the Wagga City Cats gets a wicket.
It's a good ball. Certainly left the stump in, no doubt, onto where it was heading. Clean strike, and that's another good wicket there. And again, just the Chargers not able to get some momentum into their innings.
Yeah, just as they've got a partnership going, they've lost wickets. That's a terrific ball. Using the angle, left arm, bowling around the wicket into the right-hander. If you get it right, it's a good tactic, because if the batter misses...
Yeah, you hit and you've cramped. You've been cramped, haven't you? And he had good length on that one.
Gallichan's been out there for a while now. He's lost a lot of wickets at the other end. Nathan Ensby. Is he round the wicket, angling in and just cannons into off stump.
Yeah,
I love
really
seeing it.
Really
Ripped
good.
out of the ground. Every fast bowler's dream.
Remember the days when they used to wet the stump holders to be able to cartwheel those? I think that was an early World Series trick.
That's just off the glove, maybe. Big appeal. No signal for wide, no signal for out. So might have just flicked the thigh pad.
Let's have another look at that, because that sort of jumped a little bit off the pitch.
A couple have jumped, which is hard for the batters, because predominantly the pitch is keeping on the lower side. So when one does spit at you, it comes out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
And you've always got to take it out of your mind as a batter and just forget that it could happen.
Yeah.
It's just guided and not... Oh, and the keeper tried to do a bit of a Jonty Rhodes flick onto the stumps. Didn't end well. 1 to the total, though.
1 to the total. And they need every one they can get at the moment. We're not even at a run a ball. Which...
Look, I think this is maybe a better total than we're giving credit, because...
Yeah, well, both sides have got to bat before we can really make a judgment, I think.
I guess the Blasters in the first semi-final made 167, but that was probably when the pitch was at its freshest.
It was freshest.
A little bit of moist
And a lot of runs in that first 6, wasn't there?
And that's just angled to third for a single. So if those have just flicked on the coverage, the Newcastle Blasters beat the Border Bullets this morning, so they are the first team in the Plan B Regional Bash men's final that starts tonight at 6:15. And the winner of these two sides will be facing them. Both these teams haven't lost the game in the qualifiers. They're 3-0. So this is a big match. There's a big appeal. The umpire's giving it out. The bowler was on his knees, begging, pleading, praying, and the umpires put the finger up. That 10 out of 10 appeal, 10 out of 10 delivery. Yes. Great over.
That's an outstanding appeal. That's Indian-like.
That was a begging appeal.
That's outstanding.
And a great ball again, angling in. The batter stuck on the crease.
Yeah, once again, good length and no width, and just a really good ball to bowl at this stage. Here we go with the replay. Yeah, it was pad almost. I'll pad that one away and then maybe try to play it with the bat and get a single.
So Ensby's out. I guess if you're a Chargers fan, Gallichan is still there, and he's been there a while, so maybe he can take on the bowling.
He's got 2 overs to make a difference, doesn't he?
So Troy Turner, the new batter.
Troy, another man from Harwood. Another Clarence River man.
Another Harwood.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from Harwood.
All right, so it's been a great over.
What can happen here? Left-hander might open it up a little bit.
Ed Morris has picked up 2 wickets in this over. Now back over the wicket to the left-hander. And Turner watchfully defends, and they get 1. 6 for 121 now. So the end of the over. What an over for the Wranglers. Over. 3 runs and 2 wickets.
2 wickets.
7 for 121.
Yeah, you're right what you said. Gallichan now, certainly been in a while. He should be seeing it very well and knows how the pace of the pitch is. So these 12 balls, if we can maximise the strike there, and I mean, 140 is
See
not
the
out of
figures
the
up
question.
there. Skelly 2 for 14, Parsons 2 for 23, Morris
1 for 2.
Well, I think
Could
that
be
will
right?
end up being
1 for 12.
3, maybe 1 for 5.
Okay. 1 for... Oh, here
This
we
is
are. It's
going
being
up.
changed as we speak. 1 for 4.
Well, good luck keeping score at home.
Yeah, I was going
There
to
we
say...
go. No, they got
big
it.
shout out.
See,
Is this on Play HQ?
7
at
for
the moment?
121. There you go. We got there. Morris 2 for 5. Wow.
2 overs to go. Turner
12
is
balls left.
on strike.
Can the Chargers charge to the finish line and belt a few boundaries? And Ben Parsons with the ball. Steams in. Slash that by Turner and doesn't make contact.
Yeah, well bowled there. And good deal of protection out there as well. So probably only would have got 1 out through point. Cover point. But
Yeah, there's a
good
long
length.
on, deep mid-wicket, fine leg, third, and just a deep point. Deep cover, really.
Cover point, yeah.
Turner's got to get inventive here. He can't let Parsons settle in this over. And he's probably tried to hit that one too hard. And 2 dot balls to start the 19th over. And Galachan, the
Galachan's
non-striker,
coming down. I
he's
think
striding down to talk to his batting partner.
I think the message is bat on ball and we run.
Yes.
Single.
Get me on strike,
Get
he's
me
saying.
on strike.
10 balls left in the Chargers innings.
Change of field there, deep mid wicket. Third man comes up.
Parsons pitches up, and that could be a wide.
Dangerous on that one. They moved the man out deep mid wicket, probably expecting a hoik over that period. Brought in third man and then bowls it wide outside of off stump. So just a chancy delivery, but anyway, got away with it. And
Yeah, probably you
cost
should
them
have
one.
just left the fielder there and
Yeah.
stayed with that ball because
Yeah, because if you get something on it, you're at least a chance of stopping it down there.
Exactly.
Comes in to bowl again.
Parsons, and it's just played back. Oh, there's a
dear.
run out at the striker's end. He played it back to the bowler who fielded the ball and underarmed it to the stumps. Great effort from Parsons. The Chargers have lost their eighth wicket, and this has been a great over for the Wranglers.
Good composure there too. Yeah, there was the temptation there to pick it up and just ping it at the stumps and miss by a metre or two, but he took the lawn bowl route, which was good, and didn't miss.
The Damien Fleming route, for those who
Damien
remember
Fleming,
the
that's it,
1999 World Cup
semi-final.
semi-final.
Yes.
I was
Yes,
there for
indeed.
that game in England, so I remember it well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched it on telly the other night again.
Really?
That a Shane Warne tribute.
Yeah.
And it's just on one of the Fox channels. So, but remember sitting up watching it. You should have given me a wave in the crowd that night, because I would have been the poor guy sitting back in Newcastle watching it, and you were there going, "Here I am."
I was running in from the boundary as Gilchrist took the stumps off. I was one
Yeah,
of those
wow.
mad people on the boundary.
Because when you look at that last over with Klusner, there's no way we were winning that.
Well, no, we thought before the last over, we thought we were going to win it. But I'll never forget that day, and it's a good time now that it's the anniversary of Shane Warne's death. That the game was going South Africa's way. They were none for 40 odd, chasing 200,
Yeah.
and Warne came on, and the whole atmosphere changed, the whole game changed. It was just so typical of his greatness. Anyway, let's get back here because it's go time. Adams on strike. And he just guides it square on the offside and gets
single.
Galachan on strike, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Galachan's
that
clapping. I think he's frustrated that it didn't happen earlier in the over.
Yeah, the last over, I mean, he's done well now, Adams' first ball, but you're right, last over, that was when it needed to be there. I mean, he's got 5 balls now, everybody's out. Tell you what, that was a big chip into the TV screen there, the scoreboard screen there overs ago, where the piece is still hanging out of it.
Oh, yes.
From the 6. Outstanding.
I didn't see. Wow, who hit that?
Yeah,
Parsons.
I can't remember.
Slash that. What a shot,
It's
though.
one of the earlier, well, it was when they were going well.
He'll get the bill for that, do you think?
Oh, great question. Country cricket, possibly?
Yeah, I think
Putting
so.
the match on.
Could be.
Bruce Whitehouse,
This
maybe.
could get pushed through the expenses department of a few associations. All right, one ball left in the 19th over. The Wranglers have...
Maybe New South Wales government will pick it up. You know, the old plan B.
Could they just slip that in with the Renos, the
Yeah.
$17 million
Sort of an election
upgrade?
promise.
Galachan, last ball of the over. What does he do? Plays it nicely over cover, running towards the boundary, and that's 4. Great shot. The key there was the placement. 2 fielders in the deep, but if you watch, he just sort of waited for it and really guided it into the gap. Class stuff.
No, really
He's
good
28.
shot. Really good shot. So we're now sitting, what, with the last over?
It's 8 for 127, so 6 runs came off that over. So if you're a Wranglers fielder, you'd be happy with that.
Very much so. And
What's Wrangler? What does a Wrangler do out in the bush?
it's a great question. Is a Wrangler not a sort of a rouseabout cowboy?
Yeah.
Cowgirl, maybe?
Yep.
Wrangler Jane?
We'll get someone on who
I'm saying
knows
everybody
this.
called Jane
We'll-
should be a Wrangler, but
Yeah.
it's a good question. I reckon somebody like a Nathan Lyon sitting back at Cricket Central might have an idea on that one.
Oh, that gets
Wonder if
past Adams. Gets past the keeper. We'll just wait for the signal. I don't think there was any. Oh,
good
the leg
fielding.
buys. So, oh no, buys.
Eyes, just the one. Good bit of fielding down there. Nice
I
slide
think
technique.
the Wranglers have done a bit of wrangling of the Chargers. You know,
They have.
getting away.
Well, they've wrangled them in, haven't they? You know,
Exactly.
I mean, 127, 135. Well,
got
that
the old
sounds
whip
nice.
out and herded them in.
They have.
Kept that run rate down. It's so 5 balls left.
Bowled pretty well. They wouldn't want this to get away from them.
Yeah. Big last 5 balls. Who can take the momentum into the break? Morris, 2 for 6 so far. Hit over the top of cover. Mid-off's coming around. They've got to come back for 2. Adams to the danger end. Smart running.
Good shot. Smart running. Good fielding. I mean, good cricket all round there. The ball wasn't that bad either. It's just slapped out there for 2. And good shot. Had to find the gap. Got the 2. He's back on strike again.
4 balls left in the Chargers innings. It's been even Steven so far. Ebbed and flowed. Good overs for both sides. It's going to be an intriguing chase. Morris. Full toss and not timed.
They're
He'll be
gonna get the
disappointed
single
with
there.
that. They just get 1 run.
Yeah, not happy. About to slap his bat on his pads. Really wanted more of a piece of that. It was a bad ball though, just that lowish, fullish, low full ball. Very hard to get underneath. So really just got to get a bit of bat on ball and get up the other end here now.
Yeah. Adams waits for Morris and hits him on the pads. There's a big appeal. He moved across. Morris was pleading again. Leg buys. The umpire wasn't having any of that. And maybe just slipping down leg side with the angle.
Let's have another look here, Manners. He's gone across a fair
Maybe
way.
it's outside
though.
off stump.
It might be outside off. Tell you what, great appeal though. Again, down on hands and knees. It's it's a big effort. What does it be, 30 something out there today? Got to get back up. Once you've appealed.
Morris around the wicket. Oh, Galachan just
squeezed it out.
edges that for a single, and he's frustrated because he hasn't quite been able to quite time the ball in these closing overs. There's been a steady flow of wickets at the other end. The Wranglers have bowled really well. I think the pitch is just holding up a bit, and when the ball gets a little bit softer,
I think you're right.
harder to time the ball. And
No, I think you're right. Scuffed up ball. I reckon he
last ball of the
might
innings.
lap sweep this for 4.
Oh, he's bowled him! Morris gets a wicket, his 3rd of the innings. He has the great figures of 3 for 9. And the Wranglers, they've come home with a wet sail.
Couldn't be any more wrong, could I?
Well, I think he was going for that shot.
Yeah, I think so.
He just didn't execute
Just
it.
didn't quite get it there.
The gap was there.
So let's have a look. 133.
Yeah, so the
33.
Chargers finished with 9 for 133. So the Wranglers will need 134 for a spot in the final tonight. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the chase, but don't go anywhere because this is going to be a thriller.
Parsons again. That might be 4 and is. No need chasing that. Just gets that pass short for leg. 4 runs. Hard to get away. Oh, shot. That's what they've got to do. You've got to take advantage of that new rock. 4 runs, Connor. Lovely whack down the ground. Going across the line. Umpire Lalever unmoved on the squeeze into the square, but going away from that slattery bowling to Connor. Oh, short. But he only gets it to the sweep at Doom Square. Take him downtown, maybe. Straight. Well, that's in the air, and that's Gornsky's. That's hit the sides. That's hit the television screen on the fly. And in fact, you can see the square on the screen where that ball's hit. So he's hit the screen and it's pixelated a bit. That's an enormous hit from Bartlett. That's just gone a long way offside. So he's got to bowl these pads. Does gets it into the pads. Oh, magnificent! Gee, that's a good shot. Drop kicks it over mid-wicket. Getting the length and line wrong there, Matt. That's on his pads. Going the Hoy. Now, has he got enough? Yes, he has. So gets a 3/4 underneath edge to ball. Again, wrong line, Webster. 4 runs to short to fine leg, which is very short down there. Going again, and 4 more. So that is the over that the Chargers needed. They've taken advantage of that over. 12 off it. 13, actually, with 3 boundaries. Parsons bowling to Bartlett. Late cut. He'll be doing well to stop that. Got to dive now. He has. Great fielding from Webster. Saves 2. Saves 2 now to get it in. Which means they pretty much can't save a single. Going. That's gone. That is out of here. And that's out of the ground. That's into North Sydney. Absolutely massive from Bartlett. And that was actually a pretty good cricket shot, Matt Ellis.
That was a very good cricket shot.
It was authentic cricket shot. I'm not saying he didn't hoe that. Going again, straight, no one at long off. Is it 6? It's not. Didn't quite get it. That's a big over, Matt. That is massive. That's 55 now. That is 12 off pass, 16 off the over with the 4-leg buys. Shannon will be trying to target that leg side fence for him. Fully should go. That might be a wicket. It will be. He won't drop that. So again today, a full toss gets a wicket. Skelly strikes the first wicket today. Shannon gone. Didn't go anything near middling that fully, and he's gone, and it's 1 for 55.
How many?
Shannon will be trying to target that leg side fence for him. Fully should go. That might be a wicket. It will be. He won't drop that. So again today, a full toss gets a wicket. Skelly strikes the first wicket today. Shannon gone. Didn't go anything near middling that fully, and he's gone, and it's 1 for 55.
How many?
Short, pulling. Straight to the man at mid-wicket, first bounce. That was a smart move not to charge that ball, just stay back. People ask me how I would have gone on T20, said I'd get caught out in the field. Just like, has he got all of it? Yep. Drop kicks that one. I reckon he's only 3/4 got that too, Matt, but another 6. People ask me how I would have gone on T20, said I'd get caught out in the field. Just like, has he got all of it? Yep. Drop kicks that one. I reckon he's only 3/4 got that too, Matt, but another 6.
A more modern technique.
Sweeping, lost his balance. Still got enough to get it to the man of forward square leg for a single. They won't stop him if he gets onto it. Skelly again. Coming and gone. Stumped. Brilliant from Skelly. He's making a difference already. Held that one back, didn't he, Matt? It was a lot slower. And Bartlett was through his shot very, very early. We're going to watch this on time lapse now. They won't stop him if he gets onto it. Skelly again. Coming and gone. Stumped. Brilliant from Skelly. He's making a difference already. Held that one back, didn't he, Matt? It was a lot slower. And Bartlett was through his shot very, very early. We're going to watch this on time lapse now.
Webster continues. Driven over the top of cover. Is that in the gap? Bouncing away for 4. What a beautiful shot from Derek. Here's Parsons. It's in the air towards the... No, it's not timed. And that's a good catch. Was that Skelly there, I think?
Took a really good catch there.
That was a hard one because it was sort of...
Hung in the air, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hung in the air. And it would have been a bit of spin on it.
Yep.
Yep.
Love it. Parsons, nice length and push to point. They set off for a quick single. There's a throw at the non-striker's end and a direct hit. But the batter... Oh, there's a mix-up. Galachan, I think, was looking for 2. Short and cut.
Good shot.
It's almost a beautiful drive.
It's found the gap, and it's 4.
It's a great shot. He just sort of stood to attention there and
he did
hit it on the up. That's one of the best shots we've seen all day. Can they hit a boundary to make it a big over? A bowled him!
Great
straight
wicket.
through. What a ball! Parsons gets McMahon, and the Chargers are 4 for 101.
That's good reward there for Parsons.
Can they hit a boundary to make it a big over? A bowled him!
Great
straight
wicket.
through. What a ball! Parsons gets McMahon, and the Chargers are 4 for 101.
That's good reward there for Parsons.
You've got to be looking at something off every ball.
Yeah, and I think you want to get, we'll just see that lapped beautifully fine. That could be 4, and it is 4. Galachan, nice invention there. Moved across the crease and just worked the ball into the gap.
You've got to be looking at something off every ball.
Yeah, and I think you want to get, we'll just see that lapped beautifully fine. That could be 4, and it is 4. Galachan, nice invention there. Moved across the crease and just worked the ball into the gap. Down, 140.
140 might do it.
Close to the par. Slattery tosses up, and that's in the air. Long on's coming in. Will he take the catch? He does! Slattery gets a wicket with the full bunger.
Right.
And Murphy is out for a duck.
Mac Webster, I think.
Mac Webster took the
fielder.
catch.
It's a good catch there. Made good ground to get underneath, and then the rest was just like shelling peas, wasn't it?
Ben Parsons with the ball, and it's a good ball. Not much you
Squeeze
can
that
do
out.
that, but it's steered for 4. That is beautifully guided. That was in a
It's a
tough
really nice
spot,
shot.
and he just found the gap between third and the sweeper, and it ran away on this quick outfield for a much-needed boundary for the Chargers. They were floundering a bit, so 10 runs came off that over.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, bowled him! What a delivery! Wow, Morrish from the Wagga City Cats. There's a big appeal. The umpire's giving it out. The bowler was on his knees, begging, pleading, praying, and the umpires put the finger up. That 10 out of 10 appeal, 10 out of 10 delivery.
Yes.
Great over. There's a big appeal. The umpire's giving it out. The bowler was on his knees, begging, pleading, praying, and the umpires put the finger up. That 10 out of 10 appeal, 10 out of 10 delivery.
Yes.
Great over.
Comes in the bowl again.
Parsons. And it's just played back. Oh, there's a run out at the striker's end. He played it back to the bowler who fielded the ball and underarmed it to the stumps. Great effort from Parsons. The Chargers have lost their 8th wicket, and this has been a great over for the Wranglers.
Good.
Galachan, last ball of the over. What does he do? Plays it nicely over cover, running towards the boundary, and that's 4. Great shot. The key there was the placement. 2 fielders in the deep, but if you watch, he just sort of waited for it and really guided it into the gap. Ball of the innings.
Lap sweep this for 4.
Oh, he's bowled him! Morrish gets a wicket, his 3rd of the innings. He has the great figures of 3 for 9. And the Wranglers, they've come home with a wet sail.
Couldn't be any more wrong, could I?
All of the
Might
innings.
lap sweep this for 4.
Oh, he's bowled him! Morris gets a wicket, his third of the innings. He has the great figures of 3 for 9. And the Wranglers, they've come home with a wet sail.
Couldn't be any more wrong, could I?
Parsons again. That might be 4 and is. No need chasing that. Just gets that past short for leg. 4 runs. Hard to get away. Oh, shot. That's what they've got to do. You've got to take advantage of that new rock. 4 runs, Connor. Lovely whack down the ground. Going across the line. Umpire Lever unmoved on the squeeze at the end of the square, but going away from that. Slattery bowling to Connor. Oh, short. But he only gets it to the sweeper at deep square. Take him downtown, maybe. Straight. And that's in the air, and that's Gornsky's. That's hit the sights. That's hit the television screen on the fly. And in fact, you can see the square on the screen where that ball's hit. So he's hit the screen and it's pixelated a bit. That's an enormous hit from Bartlett. That's just gone a long way offside. So he's got to bowl his pads. Does. Gets it into the pads. Oh, magnificent. Gee, that's a good shot. Drop kicks it over mid-wicket. Getting the length and line wrong there, Matt. That's on his pads. Going the Hoy. Now, has he got enough? Yes, he has. So gets a 3/4 underneath edge to the ball. Again, wrong line, Webster. 4 runs to fine leg, which is very short down there. Going again, and 4 more. So that is the over that the Chargers needed. They've taken advantage of that over. 12 off it. 13, actually, with 3 boundaries. Parsons bowling to Bartlett. Late cut. He'll be doing well to stop that. Got to dive now. He has. Great.
Like runs on the board here as we get later in proceedings are going to be like gold. So a crucial first power play here. I feel like the Central West Wranglers may be able to do the bulk of their scoring in the front end of this innings while the ball's still hard and while the field is up.
Joey Coughlin and Matt Corbin have got the sticks out there. It looks like Brodie Bartlett's got the ball and the keeper's standing up, and you'll find there'll be quite a lot of keepers standing up even with the Meds. The Coffs Coast Chargers staying at the break there, Matt, that the ball's starting to keep low. And they've got a few blokes that take pace off the ball. So Joey Coughlin will want to maximise at the start of this innings, no doubt. He whacks him, Joey Coughlin. If he gets anything short, look out, it will get launched. Going with a deep point and a finish third man. No one else inside the ring because they can't. And it's rock and roll time in the second innings. Plan B regional base semi-final 2. Keeper's gone back, I might add. I thought he was going to stand up. You can see why with Bartlett letting that go at a reasonable clip. So it's a slip, a finish third man in front of us. Backward point, sweeper cover, mid-off, mid-on. No one at mid-wicket. A forward square and a short, fine leg. Inside edge from Joey. Looking for 2. Corbin's got to go. Gets there. 2 runs. And they're away, the Wranglers.
They're away.
In chase of 134. They've got the booking with the Newcastle Blasters, one of these 2 sides. That coming to you a little bit after 6 o'clock tonight. We thank Interact Sport for their fantastic work today in covering this game. Short. And bowling to his field. Got a sweeper at point, not just a single.
Ed Morris, the pick of the bowlers for Central West earlier today, started off beautifully, conceding only 2 runs from his first 2 overs, and then in his second spell coming back and taking a bag of wickets.
He was outstanding. What a catch, Gallatin. Corbin flashing at the first ball he faced. Gallatin going to his right at first slip. That's why I have a first slip early. And there's the first strike. Coughlin gone first rock. Slashing at Bartlett, I'm sorry. And Gallatin is out. Have a look at this. Oh, he's taken that at almost second slip. That is an outstanding first grade catch.
You see why he's so pumped up.
Yeah, goodness me. He's gone a long way to take that to his right. That is a first-class catch. What a catch, Gallatin. This will be Cooper Bryan, and let me tell you, there are a lot of raps on this young man around the pathway system, Matt Ellis. This kid is a serious talent, good footballer, and very powerful batsman. And for a big man, he's got very good footwork, shots either side of the wicket. And a bit like Joey Coughlin, when he hits them, they stay hit.
Yes, and Pat's old boys product, a very fine young player, Cooper Bryan.
Western Zone representative, I believe
Western
so.
Zone.
Western Zone men's playing at home this year in Orange. In fact, Western Zone knocked out Riverina out of the country final on the last day at Wade Park this year.
Don't mind you talking about that.
We were sort of sitting back waiting, and we thought that Riverina were in the box seat having beaten the Coasties, and then Matt Everett, of course, made 276 runs at the Carnival. Unbelievable performance. How you going, Sis, if you're listening? Bryan gets a short one first up, defends it back down the pitch. Good start from the Chargers. They need to keep striking, Matt Ellis. I don't think they can bowl 20 overs here. I think they've got to roll them.
Yeah.
Same field with that slip, which has just proven a masterstroke from skipper Gallatin. Letting go. Good clip there from Bartlett, and that's was that Bartlett? I think it was. Yeah, it's one of the Bartletts anyway.
Josh Bartlett.
It might have been Josh in 9, yeah, because the hair's a bit different. So helmet coming out second over. So Matt, the normal thing with North Coastal and Coffs Chargers is that Richie Gallatin or another spinner bowls first and gets in early. So looking like this is Ben Pearce from the Bally's Club. And he's coming on, and with the keeper getting a lid, and the keeper today is Haddon McMahon, one of the McMahon brothers. So Pearce is going to bowl straight away. So he's got his two men on the fence, Matthew, are a long on directly in front of us in commentary, and a deep cow. He's got a forward square, fine leg in the ring. Third man will end up actually it's a backward point, slip. There's already a slip in place, so I don't know where Richie Gallatin's going to end up, cover and mid-off. And again, if Joey Coughlin, who's rather short in stature, gets anything remotely short, he'll mow it square. Absolutely murderous square of the wicket Joey Coughlin can do. Looking like he's going to go right arm around the wicket, Matt. And don't be surprised to see Coughlin try and drop down on one knee and perhaps try and hit him over to the marquees over here, or even a bit behind square. Let's see how he goes about it. First ball hits the pad, going for that slog sweep.
He was
misses.
looking to do exactly that, trying to...
Well, it's on because especially square. With him going right arm around the wicket. Yeah, square and behind square. There's men there, but as I said, Coughlin just loves hitting square. Dot ball, first ball. That's brilliant if field, because that was 4 over to Coughlin again, showing his square of the wicket stuff. Single.
Trent Dierrick there, diving to his right.
That was clever.
That'd be a stinger, that one.
Not cold, though.
Yeah, that's true. Wouldn't want that in the middle of England in there.
When they're playing in May in Manchester or Leeds or Chester Street, you'd feel that for a week. Bryan on strike to Pearce. Lovely length from Pearce, getting that right. And as Bryan's saying, that was his slider there, Matt, because that went away from him. Same field for Bryan. Deep cowed long on of the two men on the fence. Full, driving. Oh, it's trouble if he hits. Oh, he misfielded. Coughlin caught in no man's land.
Yeah, he hit that too well for there to be a single there.
Wasn't a single in it.
Never a run on.
Length again. And they're buys, I reckon. Yeah, soft signal coming. Might just be the one buy there, Matt.
Yep, beat everyone.
Yep. And with only a couple of runs, 2 runs off the first 5 balls this over, Coghlan may be looking to go large here, especially if he gets the right length to drop kick it over square leg again with that slog sweep. And that's where he's gone. He's gone to mid-wicket and goes to slog sweep and gets it. So 6 runs off the over. Coghlan making it ended up being a reasonable over for the... Remember, they've only need just a 6.5 and over.
Yeah, vital boundary to close out the over for the Central West Wranglers.
It's 1 for 9 after 2. Didn't Morris bowl superbly in his second spell, coming to left arm around the wicket, as we discussed earlier on today.
Yeah, he really has matured as a cricketer over the years, Ed Morris. And great to see him getting the rewards for that hard work.
Yep. Western Zone player, Central West Wranglers player. Been a good player in Orange for a long time. Cooper Bryant facing Bartlett now. Full, driving, square driving, what should just be a single, is Coghlan's on 8 and Bryan's just opened his account.
Yeah, always nice to get off the mark. Just release a bit of the tension.
Might also be bowling full to Coghlan, as full as you possibly can. Perfect delivery there, right up on the crease. Coghlan digs it out, no run.
Yeah, excellent execution there. Just what you're saying, trying to bowl nice and full and straight.
Are they changing the field? No one's moved, but the skipper, there was a bit of movement. They wanted movement.
Bit of discussion there.
Just quietly, I think that first slip catch might have been Ensby rather than Gallacher. Driving, taking the single because mid-ons had to come around misfield. Yeah, correction to that slips catch. I think the slips catch might have been Nathan Ensby in 19 in front of us because Richie Gallacher sitting around the corner at 45 with the floppy on. 1 for 11. Bryan on strike now to Bartlett, who's been quite impressive and quite sharp in his first 2 overs. Full. Bryan can just get it back to him. No run.
What do you think they're looking for off the power play here, Redders? 50
Without
plus
looking at the
would be-
score, they don't need 50 plus.
They don't?
Well, they've lost a wicket. 45? 45 off 6 is still 7.5 and over, and that's above their run rate. Driving. Can't get it past the cover. No run. That was a folly too. It looks to me with his footwork that Cooper Bryant, Matt, is sitting in this position with his front foot in past his back foot, if you know what I mean. He's getting it out in front as he's triggering him. I'll just wait and see if we can...
See if we can pick it up on this monitor here.
Just see. I reckon that front foot's in... Yeah, he is. So his back foot's behind him. That's an inside edge, I think. No run. So if you can see that, he's batting with instead of batting his feet there, his back foot's there, so he's getting himself very side. George Bailey did that at the end of his career, if you remember.
No.
So yeah, they're not too bad. He's been certainly setting up, trying to get himself to shut off that shoulder. That's over. It's 1 for 12 after 3. The Chargers will be pleased with that. Getting Corbin first ball. Pearce again to bowl on the power play. Right arm around to the right-handers. Coghlan took him for a 4 off the last ball, and be interesting to see how I'd imagine Pearce will try and bowl full to him, Matt, rather than bowl length. He wants to bowl right at the crease. Let's just see how Joey goes about it here. Very full. Straight to cover, no run.
Well bowled.
Yep. That was a dart outside after nice and full. Trying to bowl to his field here is Pearce. Fully. Oh, goodness me. He's got that on stickers. That is the 4th time today a ranked full toss has been taken. You wouldn't believe it. Coughlin gets one on stickers and gets it straight back to Pearce, caught and bowled, and they're 2 for 11. That's unbelievable. He's fair dinkum got that on the stickers, man.
You wouldn't read about it, Redders.
No.
He's wanting to have a look at the replay there to see the height of that delivery. And I think sometimes it's just a disappointment of getting out to a full toss. You're thinking, how did that happen?
That is at least 4 today.
Yeah.
4 catches taken off what could be termed rank fullies. Matt Condon in the last game, and that wicket changed that entire game. The border bullets were just going. They'd just gone 10s and 15s and 18s, and then he gets a fully at knee-high outside off stump that could have gone fair ink at the Bon Andrews, and he sliced it down here to Gussie McTaggart.
That's right.
Amazing. In comes Bailey Ferguson from another Cavalier. Amos Club up in Orange. Hello to everybody up at home. I hope you're all well up in Orange and Bathurst and Blaney, where our family live. Absolutely beautiful part of the world. Be getting nice and cool to play cricket in that part of the world into March, I'm telling you.
Oh, yes.
You don't want to play cricket too early or too late, and this time of the year it'll be a nice old dew. Actually, Orange in March is glorious. It's absolutely beautiful. Pearce now, having got Coughlin caught and bowled. Driving, first ball. Gee, they've hit the field a bit so far, out on the offside, Matt. That was a drive or length, was half volley.
Yeah.
No run. Full again. Again to the cover fieldsman. No run.
Yeah, he's just not able to get it either side of the fielder.
Because it's 3 yards either side and she's gone. Pearce in the middle of a very good spell. He's got 1 for 5 off 9 rocks. Fully. And again, can't get it past the field. Again, it's hard when you come in, but
Yeah.
you don't actually get a settling in period when you're
There's no settling in period at all, is
not
there?
in T20, no. Pearce bowling to Ferguson. Fully. And again doesn't beat. Oh, trouble if he hits! And he's gone run out. Unbelievable. Brian backing up way too far. And it wasn't a direct hit. The bowler had to do all the work. Pearce has picked it up at ankle level. Have a look at the replay here on the big screen, actually. Picks it up, and I'm sure that Pearce has got to pick this up very low. Takes him. That's a superb bit of fielding. Brian's run out, and all of a sudden, bang, 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 ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 for 11.
3 for 11. Less than ideal here for the Central West Wranglers.
Skip.
Ryan Peacock.
Rugby union cricketer and captain of the Wranglers. And he comes to the crease with a lot to do, Matthew.
He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders out there at the moment.
Certainly does.
Well, certainly the weight of the Central West.
Change in bowling here as well. Ben McMahon. So Ben McMahon will bowl, I'm imagining, with the keeper up. He bowls little medium to slow mediums and bowls cutters. He's actually very clever. Have seen him do this a lot for North Coastal, Matt, in the last few years at representative level, and he never gets taken down. He's just consistent. And on this pitch, I think he could be effective. I think you have to play him on the front foot. Going back to him on this pitch will be laden with danger. Bartlett's got 1 for 5. Pearce has 1 for 5. It's 3 for 11, everybody. And the Chargers so far on top in the first part of the power play. There are 12 rocks left in it. Not what the Wranglers would have wanted. And can Peacock and Ferguson dig him out of a rather large crater? So McMahon's going with a similar field. He's got a long on, actually. Ben McMahon bowling. Wide first ball. That's gone outside the blue line, so that's a wide. Just comes in and he's usually hyper accurate, targets those stumps and can just cut it, Matt, just enough with his fingers either way.
Only just outside the blue line there.
Yeah. Two Rangers. These guys have been pretty good today.
They've been great.
Lever and Ranger. Full. Get the chalk out for the cue. Peacock shaking his hand because he's got that right down the bottom of his bat. No run. Still 3 for 12 here at North Sydney Oval. They need 102 off 96. 122 off 96, I beg your pardon. That might be 6. He's got a fair bit of that. He's got a lot of bit of that. That might be out the ground over the fence. Massive from Peacock. An authentic straight drive, and he's absolutely pogoed it.
And I think it's still rolling towards Miller Street as we speak.
It's right, rolling towards Menna's place in the beautiful eastern suburbs, I think. Yep.
Might need to pick that one up from the North Sydney Library.
North Sydney Olympic Pool. So there'll be a slight delay here. Hopefully the umpires don't need to go to their box of tricks here, Meridian.
Yeah, it looks like they are heading over.
Not yet. Just a glorious, effortless straight drive. Beautiful timing. The finish was sublime. So they still haven't got the ball back.
When you're hitting clean and straight like that, very hard to stop a good shot like that. Right out of the middle.
Now, tell me, is Bathurst Sports Ground right to go yet? Are they using it for cricket, or is it because that was completely resurfaced?
When we were down there, we played at Loco for the under-12s.
You play at Loco, okay.
So that's where the under-12s played, but I'm trying to think where the 14s played.
Last time I was up at home, the velodrome had been removed, and there was the wicket square was there, but it's a lovely cricket ground, but without the bike track, as they've done at number 1, as you know.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon, Victoria Park number 1 in Dubbo. You get rid of the bike track, and all of a sudden it's the same as the Walker Cricket Ground. It's got a velodrome. Now Walker Cricket Ground's facility is as old as me, but you need to get rid of, if you're going to attract cricket, you've got to get it's the same thing in New South Wales. Build facilities and they'll come. Lavington got a shield ground last week. Now Lavy's superb. Coffs is great. Wade Park's great.
Yeah.
Newcastle number 1's just been resurfaced, and it is exquisite. It is just magnificent, the surface of Newcastle.
It's been a long time since we had a shield game in Newcastle.
And that doesn't go down very well amongst the Newcastle Cricket Committee.
Imagine.
For anyone listening up in Newcastle at home, please don't get too arced up with that. So long on and long off now from McMahon. He's moved the deep cover. Straight again, down to the sweeper, taking the single. Single there, it's 3 for 19. McMahon getting his length perfect there, right on the crease. Brings in Ferguson for his first delivery facing at this end. Steak sticking with the very straight long on and a whitish long off, and his covers come in at that squeeze position near the edge of the square, which we noted didn't happen in the first innings. I think that's a smart move on this wicket. And go straight to the man on the squeeze, no run. 3 for 19 still. Great start by the Chargers. Luke Olsen is lurking with intent, ladies and gents. Looks like I'm going to be tapped on the shoulder in a second. Very good. Square that time. Got to go now. He's very deep at cover. Got to be backing up. And was. There's a single, 3 for 20.
What do the Newcastle players do during the break, Redders?
They've gone and had a rest. I think 1 or 2 might have gone and found a harbour place to have a dip, gone shopping, kept in the cool, relaxed. Yep. I saw 1 or 2 of them down having a punt and a soft drink. So,
very nice.
And that's over. So after 5 overs, now just going to get this score updated. I suspect that's 3 for 21. There were 2 singles off those last 2 balls. So after 5 overs, it's 3 for 21. And Luke, you're coming in, my friend. I'll hand over to Luke Olsen and leave you with Matt Ellis.
Great start to this defence of the run chase for the Coffs Coast Chargers.
Been an up and down start, hasn't it, MJ?
It certainly has. Ben Pearce doing some damage. or run out in the last over.
Yeah, and that scorecard there, 1 off 9, 1 off 6, just shows how tight the Coffs Coast bowlers have been.
I think it's going to get tougher to score here as well, Luke, as the day goes on.
And, you know, key off this wicket is pace off.
Yep.
Yeah, it really forces the batter to make the pace on the ball. That was a good shot there.
And it's away for 4. A much-needed boundary for the Wranglers. Ryan Peacock finding the gap at mid-wicket. And just easing the pressure a little bit. Good follow-up there from Pearce.
Deep long on, deep mid-wicket. They are bowling well to their field, aren't they? Another good shot.
And that's another boundary.
Definitely needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, Peacock's off to a flyer here. 16 off 8 balls, I think.
$105 off 86, so definitely
doable.
Definitely doable.
It's the wickets column that's the concern.
Yeah, and yeah, only 3 down. Not sure how deep this order bats, but better having 7 in the shed still waiting to come out than 3 waiting to come out. So they're on the better side of the ledger.
Pearce in and driven through the offside. They'll get 1. Would have been potentially tight.
Yeah, I think he would have been out if that was a direct hit. It's a good over from the Wranglers. Just lifted that score rate just a little bit. Released the pressure a tiny amount.
They're 31 off the power play. Umpire signalling that's a completion of the power play now.
Great time to bat. Noticeably cooler out there.
Yeah.
Seems like the westerly wind that has been blowing the last few days has shifted. Coming from the east now.
It's a more coastal
More
sea
of a coastal
breeze.
sea breeze, which is what you expect at North Sydney Oval.
Yeah, that's what you'd hope for.
Definitely don't expect 38 degrees and a hot wind like we had yesterday. That's more Burrabadeen weather, isn't it?
That's definitely Burrabadeen weather. So we'll see a change in bowling here. Anu Gruel, I think it is, that's going to take up the attack. Bowling to Ferguson. In he comes. And cut away. No run taken.
Just haven't been able to find those gaps, have they?
No, they haven't. And
Cooper Bryan was really struggling to find a gap, and I think in the end frustration just got the better of him.
oh,
Good
that's
shot.
6.
That's gone.
Lands it
Up on the grass.
on the
Doug Walter's stand. Concourse Hill. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
call it the stand.
that's a case of making use of the shorter side of the field, isn't
For
it?
sure,
That,
definitely.
that one probably wouldn't have cleared the rope on this side.
No.
He's got enough of it to get the score ticking over here. Goes downtown. They'll get 1. They think about 2, but decide it's better to be safe than sorry.
It's a perfect example of, running that first run really hard. There could have been 2 in that.
Peacock pushes down the ground for 1. Plenty of protection at the moment. Now the power play's finished. You've got a square leg a mid-wicket, a long on and a long off.
I always say, though, the power play is the opportunity to get a quick start, but once the power play is finished, is that chance to keep the scoreboard ticking over. The field's gone out a bit. There's a few more gaps in that infield.
And with a couple of singles, if you're able to get a 6 early in the over like we've just seen, it can make it a big over without much risk.
You can get to 10 really quickly, and then you're ahead of the game. So pretty good over that from the Wranglers. Starting to level out the contest a little bit.
Yeah, they'd be happy with that. A nice little partnership evolving here. 7 overs down. The run rate just under 6 runs and over. Looks like Ty Adams might be taking up the attack here from the fig tree end.
The Coffs Tigers. Lovely part of the world. Shout out to our Cricket New South Wales staff based in Coffs Harbour.
Yeah. Plenty of them there. No doubt tuning in. And 4 more. We talk about it ad nauseum, but the importance of getting in and out of your overs. A boundary there, just releasing the pressure valve on the Wranglers. Peacock getting that one away.
This is smart batting from Peacock.
Hits that one straight to the field.
Straight to the fielder.
Throws the head back. He knows that that's another boundary.
4 written all over it.
And that one goes the journey over the top of the marquees and 6 runs. Much to the delight of his teammates sitting in front of the Plan B advertising. Joey Coughlin from the Wranglers ducking around behind the marquees to pick that one up.
The crowd starting to filter in.
There'll be a good atmosphere here this evening.
A few people in the Duncan Thompson stand. O'Reilly stand's even got a few in it, which we haven't had much of over the last few days.
In again. And pushed out on the offside, no run taken. Adams getting punished for some loose bowling early on in this over. Needs to fight back and finish off strong here. In he comes now. And that one keeps very low.
Stayed low.
$85 from 75. Adams in, another one keeping a little bit low. Comes out of that over.
Good finish there from Adams, but did get a few boundaries hit off him. 10 off that. So that's the sort of the over that can get a little bit of momentum for the batting team.
Yeah, it can. Just trying to get a look at who this new bowler is here.
Richie Gallatin.
Richie Gallatin, the captain.
Yep, he's given up his hat.
Going to inject himself into the game here.
Yep, sure thing.
Keeper up to the stumps. Square leg, mid-wicket, long on, long off. Skipper in and hit away beautifully on the onside. Good piece of fielding out there. Make sure that it's just the one. Galichin in again. Whipped away on the onside. A diving effort.
6, it looks
Not
like.
enough to stop that. I think we'll see 6 signalled here. Just waiting for confirmation.
It's 6.
There it is.
Flat and hard. There's good effort out there on the boundary. Just couldn't quite get there.
Peacock leading from the front here.
Peacock's batting beautifully here. What you say, Matt, that first couple of balls in and over.
Oh, well
Comeback
bowled.
delivery there.
Very good comeback delivery. Galichin in again. Tosses up. Defended.
Great bowling.
Yeah, very smart bowling here.
Seems like one of those old school hard-nosed cricketers.
Yeah,
Played a
no.
lot of bush cricket.
Oh,
Nosies, good shot.
Elegant. They get 2. Gee, I love a good late cut.
Yep.
Such a good touch stroke. Delicate hands. Galichin in again. Tossing up. Oh,
And
he's done it
again.
again.
Even later.
He must have heard me. Just gets 1 this time. Just running it off the face of the bat. That completes the over. Not long before there's a drinks adjournment here. Very hot conditions once again. I'm not sure what the official temperature is here at the North Sydney Oval at the moment, but certainly the mercury rising. Probably haven't hit the top temperature for the day just yet. Don't think it'll get quite as hot as yesterday where it was 36 degrees at 6:15 p.m. local time for the women's final. Of course, the men's final to follow 6:15 this evening. The winner of this game taking on Newcastle in what will be a magnificent contest.
So according to the Weather Zone app, and of no sponsorship arrangements with Weather Zone, of course, but the Weather Zone app is stating 28 degrees.
Oh, very
MJ,
pleasant.
so beautiful weather. There is noticeably outside a cool breeze coming across the ground from the east, so definitely has turned, which is a lot better than what it was this time yesterday.
Oh,
Matt.
absolutely. Troy Turner in and defended. Turner in again and cut away. They take 1. Peacock racing along for the Wranglers. Faces up now.
Good shot there.
Sorry, that wasn't Peacock. Just need to get those eyes checked again.
Ferguson batting.
Need a mobile
Peacock on strike now.
mobile eye testing booth here. And that's high.
That's gone.
And
That's gone.
6.
That's 6. Definitely moving along now. Peacock very quickly got his eye in, didn't he?
He's been absolutely outstanding.
He has been. Inside out. Over deep cover. 6 runs. Didn't really get all of it, did he, Matt?
No, it just sort of went up and under.
Yep. Short boundary, though.
Beaten outside the off stump. Hit down the ground. Single taken. And it looks like it's time for a drink. As the players do that, I'll step out of the commentary position. And jumping in will be Andrew Menzel. And I think Luke Olsen was scheduled to stay in, but it could be Angus Rowan.
We're going to get Angus Rowan in for a little bit of a run.
Angus Rowan making
Haven't heard
his
his
return.
dulcet tones yet today, so...
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Menzel. I'm joined by Angus Rowan, and we are set for an exciting last 10 overs of this semi-final. The Wranglers are 3 for 68 and they need 134 for a spot in the final, so they're going at just above the required run rate, spot on exactly almost. So Angus, I think we're set for a thrilling 10 overs.
Yeah, we are. Peacock and Ferguson have really taken this game on and got themselves into a really comfortable position for the Wranglers now. Wasn't looking good early, but yeah, it looks like we've got a really competitive game ahead.
Peacock 45 not out of 26 balls with 3 4s and 4 6s. Ferguson up the other end, 11 not out of 14 balls. So after they were 3 for not many, 3 for 11 at one stage, the Wranglers are 4 back, and it's been a topsy-turvy match, this one, the Chargers and the Wranglers, two evenly matched sides, and I think it's really important these games how you start after these drinks breaks.
Yep.
We've seen a couple of times in the action yesterday and today that you can really be decisive that first over after the drinks break, you know, whether you get away to a fast start or if you're the fielding side and you take a couple of wickets.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to yesterday, we saw a couple of teams go into their shell and it cost them in the end. They got a bit too comfortable doing so and fell short runs-wise, or had to put a lot more pressure on themselves later on to get the runs. So, you know, I think the way Peacock's batting, they probably shouldn't change much, really.
No.
He just needs to keep going. He's got his eye and he's middling pretty much everything. So, yeah, I wouldn't change much here for the Wranglers.
So the skipper, Gallichan, to bowl after the break from the McCartney stand end. The winner will play the Newcastle Blasters tonight under lights. Peacock waits and plays back down the ground. They've taken one, an easy single. Brings Ferguson back onto strike. So these two have put on 58 so far. Driven off the outside edge, and that's in the gap. It won't go for 4, but they will get 2. Not quite timed, but there's no one out in the deep on the offside, so safely played away.
Yeah, very handy couple of runs there. Good to go, get off the mark early on this next 10. It's blocked away and pushed for a quick single.
Three for 71. Galachan with the ball. Peacock waits. Skipper has been in fine form and cuts but doesn't beat the field. So we saw in the second innings the scoring, the first innings, but the second half of it, the last 10 overs, scoring really started to become difficult with the older ball. Here's Galachan, and he swung that towards mid-wicket, bouncing away. It's parried back, but it's 4. A great boundary for Peacock, and that's his 50. What an innings, 50 off 30 balls with 4 4s and 4 6s. That's a real captain's knock.
Yeah, is it ever? That was, oh look, yeah, you can't get much better than that, especially with the position that they were in. He's done his job, that's for sure.
Score here 3 for 76. Last ball of the 11th over. It's a good ball, good comeback from the bowler, but worked away for a single. So 3 for 77. The same stage, the Chargers were 2 for 82. But not much in this one.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I was just saying before, it can get a bit difficult in the second 10 overs with the ball getting a bit softer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go from here. Both batters got their eye in, batting well. But look, Peacock's the main man, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
If he bats out the next 4 or 5 overs, you'd think that they'd take control of this game.
Absolutely. Plan B Regional Bash Men's Finals Day. The culmination of a lot of hard work for these teams. And both these teams are undefeated after the group stage. So Josh Bartlett with the ball now. Took the wicket of Matt Corbin earlier for a duck. Here he is again. Oh, beats Peacock with a good ball outside off stump.
Yeah, it was a great ball.
Here he is again. Delivers. Dugout and a dot ball, a valuable dot ball. So for Josh Bartlett, there's a long on, a deep mid-wicket, a deep square leg. Sort of deep cover and a third protecting the boundary. Pretty good field.
Yeah. Well, I think with the way Peacock's batting, you need plenty of men out on that boundary, that's for sure.
Wrapped him on the pads and it's 1 to the total. So 56 off 51 needed. Neck and neck this equation. Ferguson back on strike. He's on 14. He's stuck around with Peacock. Driven down the ground. They'll get 1. Sometimes it's really important if you're Bailey Ferguson knowing your role, and if you got someone like Peacock playing so well at the other end, it's actually really important that you stick with him, rotate the strike, because if you start losing wickets at the other end, all of a sudden the pressure goes on Peacock and he maybe starts doubting himself whether he should be playing all the shots. See that beautiful straight drive. So, Ferguson's doing the right thing. A lot of singles.
Yeah, for sure. You know, people might see Peacock as the key piece here, but, you know, Ferguson plays just as important a role, really, sticking in there with him, making sure that his confidence is high so that he can go about his own game.
3 for 80 now with 1 left in the 12th over. Bartlett beats him with a good Yorker.
Another great ball.
A good over, just 3 runs coming off it.
Yeah, shaping up to be a very close game, this. Probably wasn't expected after the first couple of overs, but the Wranglers have done a really good job to get back in this one.
.54 required of 48 deliveries. I feel like the Chargers, if they can just get a couple of wickets, that'll really put the pressure on the Wranglers.
Yeah, for sure. I think, that's probably what they're 2 or 3 wickets away. The pressure's right back on.
We saw in the Chargers innings, it's hard to start out there. Now change of bowling at the McCartney stand end. Troy Turner with the ball. Peacock waits. Made a beautiful half century. 52 not out. Can he be a hero and lead them to the final? It's hit in the air towards the sweeper on the offside, but they just get one.
Yeah, just a thick edge on that one and fell short of the fielder.
53 off 47. Turner continues. Dug out by Ferguson. He gets one more. He moves to 16. Tense stuff here at North Sydney Oval. Turner comes in again and it's turned away onto the onside nicely by Peacock for a single. He looks in great form.
Yeah, does he ever? It's a great batting. I think across the last 2 days as well, we've seen some really good batting performances. Probably headlined by Jody Hicks yesterday. So
yeah, Jody Hicks made a beautiful half century in the semi-final and then another decent contribution in the final. Here's Turner. Slashed away off the outside edge of Ferguson's bat and wide of the short third fielder, and they think of one on the overthrow, but it's not there, and one more to the total. 3 for 84. 2 balls left in this over. The Chargers have started well after the break. Haven't conceded many boundaries. Now they just need a wicket. Peacock waits and just worked to mid-wicket on the boundary for a single.
yeah, for sure. You'd say the Chargers have probably won the first couple of overs back so far. Been very clean bowling, and the batters are really struggling to get the ball away, and they've had a few errors as well, a couple of edges that have just fallen short. So, yeah, great start by the Chargers.
49 of 43 needed. That's popped off the leading edge and so close to Turner, agonising for the bowler. And the end of the over, 48 of 42 required. It's 3 for 86. 6 runs coming off that over. The same stage, the Chargers were 3 for 90, so it's neck and neck. 48 required of 42.
Yeah, another strong over that. A few wayward shots coming out of the Wranglers at the moment, so there's a bit of pressure on them from the bowling.
Nervous times. Spot in the final up for grabs. After being 3 for 11, these two have put on 75. What a partnership.
Yeah, amazing effort from these two. Great performance from both batters.
Ben McMahon with the ball now at the fig tree end. Ferguson waits. In comes Ben McMahon. Slash that. No run.
They probably just need a boundary here, the Wranglers. Just to
settle the nerves.
Yeah, that's right.
Ferguson's 18 off 22. He's played well. .48 off 41. Just see the umpires and the wicket-keeper reset the stumps. Pitched up and driven into the offside. That's going to get past mid-off, and that's 4. Nice shot from Ferguson.
There's that boundary.
Absolutely. He goes to 22 off 23.
Yeah, the Chargers are definitely going to need a wicket here.
45 off 40. Again driven through the offside, and that's even better. 2 boundaries in a row. And that's making this equation a lot easier. 41 off 39 needed.
Yeah, it's some great batting there, very clean. And so the Wranglers are back on top now after a good start to the second 10 by the Chargers. But that's all it was, just a boundary away.
That's right. And as well, just finding the gap there was so important. Threaded the needle. Here he is again. That's just played into the offside and a dot ball. 41 off 38. Score here 3 for 94. These two came together when the score was 3 for 11. Man, drops short, and that's cut. Will it be stopped? It will. The sweeper does well. Ferguson hit that nicely.
Yeah, straight out of the middle of that one. It was rocking towards the boundary.
3 for 95. Ferguson's on a well-made 27 now off 26 deliveries. Last ball of the over. Pitches up and dug out. Good finish from the bowler. So 3 for 95. 9 runs coming off that over, and the Wranglers have gone in front of the Worm. So at this stage, the Chargers were 3 for 94. Now they're 3 for 95.
Yeah, it really is neck and neck, isn't it? Great quality cricket, 2 great teams. But yeah, this partnership here, this is really taking the game over, I feel, for the Wranglers.
So 40 required off the last 6 overs. 40 runs, 36 balls.
Yeah, some great batting by Ferguson in that last over.
The Newcastle Blasters are already in the final. They await the winner of this match. They probably found a shady, cool spot and having a bit of a kip somewhere downstairs. Here we go. Oh, that's hit over the top of mid-off again by Ferguson. That's the 3rd time in 3 overs. He's hit the ball beautifully to mid-off, and that's a classical off-drive. He moves into the 30s, and the Wranglers are taking control of this semi-final.
Yeah, they are. This is some great batting by Ferguson. I think, we thought Peacock was the one that was playing the shots, and now Ferguson's starting to stamp his own presence on the game.
Isn't he ever? Waits again, and Again drives, but this time doesn't beat the field. Just heads are dropping a bit by the Chargers. These two batters have been difficult to dislodge, but a wicket will certainly lift the Chargers. And it's just worked to point. And, oh, there's a mix-up here. Could have been out at the non-striker's end, but... Oh, and it's no ball. Oh, it's a double whammy, so there's going to be a free hit now for Peacock. Turner was late. Sorry, Ferguson was late setting off. There was a throw at the non-striker's end. You can see here the throw comes in, not taken by the bowler, and to no ball, so free hit. This could be vital. Because the batter's changed ends, the captain can adjust the field. But Peacock, who's made a blistering 55, he'll be loving this free hit. Turner. And that's swung away to deep square leg and bounces short. They get one. Good fielding by the gentleman on the boundary there, because it just bounced short of him.
That was Ben Pearce.
Brings Ferguson back onto strike. Plays that down to long on for a nice single. They score 3 for 102. 3 for 103 with 2 balls left in this over. 8 runs coming off this over. These two have put on 92. That's a wide down leg side. Got past the keeper.
Yeah, I think a wicket is really important now.
Yeah.
I think the game's really starting to slip away from them.
Yeah, you're right. The Chargers need a breakthrough. They score 3 for 105 now. Last ball of the 15th over. Ferguson cuts, but there's a deep point, so it won't beat the man patrolling that area. So one more, so 11 runs came off that over. And now just 34 required off the... Sorry, 29 required. Oh, one more because of the no ball. Turner in. That's guided just wide of short third. It'll be a chase here. He's got to dive. No, he doesn't need to. He runs it down. And 2 more to Peacock's total.
Yeah, that was great batting. Well guided.
3 for 108 after 15 overs, 13 runs. Angus is stepping out. Dave Redden stepping in. 27 needed off 30.
Hasn't this game changed in the last 40 minutes?
How good have these two been? They came together with the score 3 for 11. They've put on 97.
Nice.
Bailey Ferguson is 34 off 31. Ryan Peacock, the skipper, 58 not out off 40. And Dave, look, I still think this game is not gone for the Chargers, because what we've seen is this pitch is difficult to start on. A little bit slow, holding up. So if the Chargers can get a couple of wickets and get some new players out there, they're right back in it.
I tend to disagree. I actually think this game's done.
Done? He's called it early.
Yep.
So it's a Wranglers Blasters final.
That's what I think. The reason being is this. They are completely on top out here.
Yep.
They only have to hit sweepers to win.
Yep.
The Chargers have to prove something extraordinary, like a double. We saw a Hattie early today.
Yep.
Okay? They've got to do something remarkable to squeeze this back. Remember, they need
27 off 30.
27 off 30. So, as I said, they can afford to hit sweepers and still win comfortably. So,
yep.
I just, the way Ferguson and Peacock are playing, I just think that they've done a superb job, as you said. They've put on 97.
So direct with the ball from the fig tree end. Spin probably the smart option here. Bowling around the wicket, and he almost had a stumping there.
He'll
Well,
be
the charge-
he'll be filthy with that Hayden McMahon. He holds himself to high standards.
Dyrick again. Round the wicket and cut beautifully, but there is a sweeper. So Ferguson gets the informed Peacock back on strike. The score 3 for 109.
One of the things in the last 10 overs, in the first 5, they hit folks in the ring regularly. In the last 10 overs, these two have found it enormous. Like Ferguson, Peacock's had 4 maximum, so they've hit a lot of gaps. And as I said to the start of this over, see that Pete, you would normally not do that at a chase of 10s and over. You can't afford to do it now.
Yeah.
If he gets a decent ball, he can block it, and there's no harm, no foul.
Run a ball needed, 26 off 26. Dyrick again. And that's played down the ground. 25 off 25 required. 3 for 110.
Ferguson started to turn it on with those great off drives, 3 in a row, as you were commenting on with Wranglers, those 3 beautiful off drives. The 2 down here on the ground were absolutely pure.
Oh, he beats the bat, Dyrick. This has been a great over. Coming around the wicket, good angle, cramping up the right-handers, and he almost got past Ferguson. So 3 for 110, 25 off 24 required. Just 2 runs off that over. And I tend to disagree with you, Redders. I think that, there's a lot of pressure on the batting side, and if they just get a little bit wobbly and it gets to the last couple of overs, you just never know.
Fair enough.
But just back on Ferguson, what I liked about his stroke play with those off drives, especially the ones on the carpet, was he found the gap beautifully. It's great. You can play these textbook shots, but if it's not in the gap, you're not going to get any runs for it. And he there wasn't a big gap between cover and mid-off. Got it through both times.
And as I said at the start of this innings, and a lot today, blokes have hit fieldsmen a lot. And hitting balls into gaps is actually a real skill. We're talking about cricketers that are really good at it at international level. I mean, our guys here aren't internationals, but when you put balls into gaps, it makes such a difference, especially this outfield. Richie Gallatin, I believe, coming on, he'll ride him around the wicket, darts, and just spear it in and make it difficult to score.
I think the Chargers have worked out with his soft ball, just bowl spin and take the pace off. Peacock plays to cover, and things are getting tense here. 25 off 23.
I think it's 24 needed, actually, because it's 110 by me. 24, I think.
Yeah.
Sweeping. Comfortable single.
Run a ball needed. 23 off 23.
I will put it this way. Whose position would you... you clearly want to be in that Wranglers position right now.
So that's the 100 partnership for these two. Congratulations.
Doesn't happen very
100
often.
Partnership. What an effort. That's hit in the air.
That's out.
It could be 100 and out. Long on's underneath it. He throws it back in. And look, Michael Neeser style. Tosses it in the air. Bit of KFC Big Bash action there. Ferguson goes for a well-made 35. They put on exactly 100, these two. Outstanding stuff. They've put the Wranglers in a good position. And that was great work.
Wasn't it? Very, very composed and calm.
Brodie Bartlett there.
Opening batsman whacked him earlier on. As Men has said, a couple of wickets now would make things very, very interesting. Ferguson, that'll be Ben Parsons, I suspect, coming out. And Ferguson caught on the long on fence very cleverly with the going out of the over the rope and throwing the ball back in, and looking at his footwork on that every play there, Menace, clearly a genuine catch. Very well done.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Well, the modern players are so adept at their fancy footwork.
Have a look at it here again. Here it is on the replay. Throws it up. Very well
Good
done.
stuff. That is great. Would have seen that on the telly over the summer a few times.
Still not sure that the one that Renshaw touched when he was over the line of the true up. I'm still not sure that was out. Not convinced of that particular rule. But anyway, Maxwell's a genius at it. Adam Voges was very good at it.
So Ben Parsons on strike.
Ben Parsons on strike. 4 for Nelson.
Plays to cover, no run. And Nelson got a wicket. 23 off 20 now.
Shot.
In the air, over the top of mid-off. It's bouncing away, and that's 4. Good shot from Ben Parsons. He's come out and got underway quickly. That's got it back to a runner ball. 19 off 19. Just opened up the offside there. Nice footwork. It's in the air towards mid-wicket and going over the top for 6. Oh, and it hits the scoreboard on the full. Boy, he hit that well.
Scoreboard's copped a pizzly today. That's 2 that have hit it on the fly, Menace.
Yeah, there's a bit of damage up in one corner.
There is indeed.
I've told them to send the bill your way, actually.
No, thank you.
Yep.
I'm not loaded like you are. You
13 off.
You rather wealthy man, you. I'm not. My name's not Menace.
So that now is 4 for 121.
13 off 3 by mine.
So, Redders, you called that the Wranglers are steaming into the final. They should be playing your Newcastle Blasters tonight under lights.
Interesting clash.
How are the Blasters looking for tonight?
Good. Very disappointed with our batting in the second half of the innings, and our skip will tell you that Paul Border did exceptionally well, particularly Chisora. I think the guys will have learned a little bit of a lesson from that and perhaps dial it back a bit. At least we've had 20 overs out, but I still think that 167 was nowhere near enough. It's hitting on the pad, has it? So the Blasters, they're okay.
What happened there? There was it hit him on the pad, and then the keeper's taken a tumble trying to field it. So leg byes in the end, but a lot happening. 12 needed now. And the way Parsons is batting, he might try and finish it this over. Doesn't want to take it deep. It's a good ball. Geez, Dyrick's bowled well. I wonder why it took them so long to bring him on.
They have a bevy of spinners. They've got 4 or 5 of them. And he's bowled very well, I agree with you.
Parsons launched it towards deep mid-wicket and takes the catch. Good stuff. It was lofted towards the sweep, but not quite timed. That is the long part of the boundary.
Exactly.
And
it's defendable, isn't it, out there? That one boundary to the western side of North Sydney Oval is defendable. You've got to hit it sweet to get a 6 at some of the other boundaries you can dead set hit 3/4 neck them and he still goes to 6. That's a nice catch.
Yeah, Ben Pearce there, I think, taking that one.
Parsons has actually done his job because he hit a 6 and a 4 in a real hurry and just reduced the run.
What you don't want is someone to come out and waste a few balls and make it difficult for the end. Yeah. So,
if ever there was a need for a 4-ball 10, that was it. Or a 5-ball 10. 5 for 122 now. Still 12 needed from 14 deliveries. Now, is that Slattery? Just waiting to see big unit Slattery. Number 14, I think, from memory, was Connor. Just waiting to see if that's number 4. I'm pretty confident it is. My eyesight's not great.
It is mine, so we're a great pair. No, it is 14. I can see that.
Connor Slattery, Western Zone all-rounder, left-arm orthodox spinner, right-hand bat.
So, look, I think some of the features of today's game, this afternoon's game, has been the fact that the Wranglers really restricted the charges in that second half of the innings. They just weren't able to get away and kept the total below 140. It looks like they'll get there pretty easily. Oh, that's a good ball. Just using the angle, going past the bat. Classic arm ball for an off-spinner.
No footwork from Slattery. Obviously new to the crease. Probably needed to play that one off the back foot a touch more, but he just stood still and tried to noodle it down to the third man. Lucky not to schnick off.
Last ball of the 18th over. Dyrick has the figures of 1 for 2. Tosses up and swept behind square on the onside. Bit of a chase for the sweeper. I don't think he'll get there.
Brilliant
He's put in a big dive, but it's gone over the boundary. And it's 5 for 126. So just 8 needed off the last 2 overs. And it looks like the Coffs Coast Chargers will be heading up the highway after this one.
I don't think what happened between Tasmania and South Australia in the Women's National Cricket League final will happen here. That was the most extraordinary last over. I've been watching cricket a long time. That was the most amazing. 5 for 2 in the last over, chasing 4 to win, and they got rissoled by a run. absolutely ridiculous. And
Had it all.
Tasmania were extraordinary.
Had it all, didn't it? Run out at the non-strikers end. Sarah Coit with the belief and
Hitting pads, stumpings, hitting stumps.
and that
As
last,
you said, a run out off
Yeah.
their fingers. So
and that last ball they needed 2 to tie it, and they hit it straight to mid-off. They took one. They didn't even try for the second. Villani,
she was actually run out, loitering out of
Yes.
the crease. That's why it was 5 wickets in the last over. So coming on now, looks like Josh Bartlett, the opening bowler. So there'll see a bit of pace here.
8 needed, 12 balls.
And Peacock has hardly faced, if he's faced Bartlett at all, he's faced almost all slow bowling in this innings. He's batted beautifully. 60 off 46. Slattery, that important boundary, just relieving some pressure. They need 8 off 12 rocks, and then we're into the final. Maybe an earlier start than predicted because it's way before 5 o'clock here. The final was scheduled at 6:30. It may actually start earlier. We'll see.
I think there'll be dinner. I think they let the players eat.
And the Wranglers will want to rest.
Just guided to third for a single. I think we'll do 6:15.
The actual, that player who said 6:15 makes more sense. It makes a lot more sense.
Well, who knows? You'll know because the stream will come on.
You will.
Surprise! There's more cricket. So 7 needed now. And great performance by the Wranglers. That 100 partnership between Ferguson and Peacock, just outstanding. Came together with their team in all sorts. 3 for 11s, 3 for 11. The Chargers probably thought they had 1 foot in the big dance tonight, but then a beautiful 100 partnership dominated by Ryan Peacock, who's still out there, 61 not out. But you shouldn't underrate Ferguson's performance. A nice 35, and I was saying before to Angus that when you've got a player in good form, it's much easier if someone's at the other end just working it around and keeping them on strike.
I heard you say that. I thought that was very astute. That's it. All Ferguson needed to do was batter to run a ball and give Peacock the strike. That's what you do. When
Exactly.
someone's going, you don't be selfish. You just pretty much play hit, tip and run and get them the strike. Dot ball to Slattery. Parsons again. Sorry. Bartlett again. Underneath edge there, down to third man. Easy single. 6 needed.
Well, can Peacock just do this with a 6? The Doug Walters stand is just on the onside there, about 50 metres away. Can he just send the Wranglers into the final? Matt Ellis's Wranglers into the final with a 6. I'm only joking. They're not Matt Ellis's Wranglers. Here's Peacock, and he hits straight to long on. Just 1. I'm sure the Wranglers players are counting them down. 5 needed. You don't want to get into the last over.
I was about to say something. Well done, yes. They want this done inside 20. They want it done in the 19th. Slattery will be looking for the boundary here to try and, as Nana said, get
Bartlett
a shot.
Driven to mid-off, but no. Oh, gets past the fielder. That's unfortunate. Could go all the way 4. No, it's been picked up and they get 2. That's just 3 required now. Last ball of the 19th over coming up.
As it turns out, Manners, 133, probably 150 would have been a really good target, and it's just about 15 short, I reckon, 10 to 15 short.
I think you said that after the first innings as well. You were spot on. Here we go. Pitched up and driven to mid-off, and they take 1. The 2 needed off the last over. Well, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure they could mess this up from here, the Wranglers. It's been a fantastic performance, a complete performance.
Has been. Morrish was superb. For me, he's the player of the match. I know Peacock's batted beautifully, but Morrish's bowling was absolutely outstanding earlier this afternoon. So, from memory, 3 for 9 or 4, which is almost unheard of at this level.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Unless you're facing Ravi Chandranashan and Ravindra Jadeja on a raging Bunsen burner.
Or Matt Kuhneman or Nathan Lyon.
How good were they? Todd Murphy, 7 for in his first Test match.
That's it.
And he's exciting because he's not an arm bowler. He bowls with a lot of ball on the ball, and he will take over, I'm sure, from Nathan Lyon. I'm hopeful that he's going to have a great first-class career because he gives it a rip.
Yeah, he's a great bowler.
Yeah, yes, he is. I'm very happy to see Kuhneman, who got plucked out of, not so obscurity, but wasn't even on the tour and got plucked, sent over there and takes 5 for.
Look, I'm going to say, I'm going to bring this up because I was at a Big Bash game, the Heat v the Sixers, and I said to the people that were there, I said, Kuhneman should be going to India the way he's bowling.
In front of Agar, for sure.
Because he bowls that sort of, here we go. 2 needed for the Wranglers, hit down the ground, they've taken 1. Scores a level. But yeah, I saw Kuhneman, no, 1 run. And I just thought he bowled that little bit flatter trajectory into the pitch more than Agar. And
Agar doesn't turn him. That's the point. He doesn't turn him. He's become a specialist to a short form game. Kuhneman actually turns him. That's why Murphy's over there, because he bowls with overspin and bounce.
All right, scores a level here. 1 needed for the win. The Wranglers headed for the final. It's hit over the top and over mid-on for 4. Beautiful shot. Well, the Wranglers with a win. 4 balls to spare. A great performance by the Chargers, but they were just outplayed. The Wranglers, led by their skipper Ryan Peacock, with a fantastic 66 not out of 49 deliveries. He's anchored the innings. Dave, you have to say that is the classic captain's knock. He came out, his team was in licorice all sorts, and he's rescued them.
Remember, they were 3 for 11. They've put on 126 for 2.
Yeah.
So he's come in absolute trouble. That was an excellent innings. He's hit it hard, hit the gaps, and he's taken the game from, as I said, I think 150 would have been a great target. But very well done, the Wranglers. Good game of cricket. The Chargers just a touch short. And a little bit later on tonight, it'll be the Central West Wranglers from the Central Tablelands in New South Wales playing the Newcastle Blasters. Men, it should be a cracking game of cricket. It really will be.
Absolutely. And look, Dave Redden's done it all, commentating, score, but he's also the manager of the Newcastle Blasters. So you're going to have your hands full tonight. You've got the final. You must be nervous.
Not at all. Not nervous. I'm looking forward to it very much, seeing good cricket. Remember, I hail from up in the Central West, so I'm not nervous.
You can't lose.
So I can lose. I can lose because this is actually my last game managing representative cricket side. So I'm looking forward to hopefully going out the bang. It's going to be a tough ask. I think they're a pretty good cricket side. These guys, well balanced, and very very good cricket side. Well balanced, good quicks, and a pretty dangerous middle order. Manners, thanks for giving me the opportunity of commentating with you. It was an absolute privilege as always.
Thank you, David.
I'll catch up with you later on tonight.
Sir David Redden, the Alex Ferguson of managers. All right, so that is it. The Wranglers have defeated the Chargers. Congratulations to the Coffs Coast Chargers. They still had a great competition, as did the Border Bullets. But in the end, the Wranglers were just too good. They will meet the Newcastle Blasters tonight. Tune in for the Plan B Regional Bash men's final this evening. You've got 2 great teams going head-to-head. They're both undefeated. 4 wins each heading into the final. So it promises to be an absolute thriller. Stay tuned and we'll be back for the first ball.
Not that I can see. It's been set up. Yeah, I put the name of someone coming for the last game. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
But yeah, I'll probably just run in and grab some food, and then I'll be back. Alright, talk then. Thanks, mate.